9 to noon on the game. Welcome in, welcome back, and welcome home for a Thirsty Thursday, a big one for your Green Bay Packers coming up on Thursday. What does Billy know coming up here today? Obviously, your chance to invest with You Better You Bet. And a little switcheroo for you. Matt Schneidman stopping by, talking Packers and Vikings today.
Whoa.
As we are, you want to turn it in topsy-turvy. It's hurricane season down south. We're spinning you around here on 9 to noon. We'll talk to Matt LePay coming up tomorrow before he heads west as the Badgers take on the USC Trojans. So Packer heavy, NFL heavy. We'll start with some college football as well. But John is with you on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. It's 414-799-1973. I'm Billy Schmidt, Armin Sarian by our side. Great work yesterday, fellas, on a wide open Wednesday. Always fun stories to start with. Always a lot of unique perspectives. And more importantly, damn, that hour goes fast. I mean, like you guys got to be sweating after that hour because that is fun right out of the gates, John, with Wayne there on Wednesdays at 9 a.m.
Yeah, it's about as fast as the video circulating the internet trying to figure out who actually caught the Shohei Ohtani 50th home run ball.
Oh, that kid, he has no chance.
It's about that intense, right?
Yeah.
We fly for an hour. Wayne is off the walls, Armin's off the walls, and I'm just trying to keep the car on the road the entire time.
Yeah.
Well, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this kid with the injunction on the Ohtani 50 home run ball?
No chance. If you want my quick 2-bit opinion on it, he has no chance. There's enough video that shows he really had no chance at this thing. They're throwing this out. That's my opinion.
Well, I love that. I
love
that you had to preface the whole. I love that you had to preface the whole thing, Armin. If you want my opinion, because I literally asked you for your opinion.
The kid there's an 18-year-old kid that is filing an injunction to stop the auction for the 50th home run ball, saying he has legal right to the ball. I guess he thought he had his hands on it and was stolen from him. All's fair in love, war, and trying to get baseballs because the last guy to get it didn't have it. You guys will remember the Social Network?
You got to walk out with the damn ball. You got to make it out of the stadium with the ball back to your house. It's not just catching the football. It's making it to the other end of the field. And that's what this kid didn't do.
You got to get to the celebration and you got to get to the picture, John, with the rest of the defense for the turnover.
You've got to have
for the
ball.
fumble.
Yeah.
It's one of the frustrating things that I've always found in the NFL or in football in general. When my man comes out of the fumble pot, the scrum comes out of the pile holding the football. I don't know what we're still litigating here, officials. My man came out of it with the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this kid. Look at this kid in the video. Okay, I'm sorry, but parents, if you let your kid walk out the house like this, he's never gonna come home with the 50 home run ball.
You don't like the gear he's got on, John?
No, the kid, and he's got his hand on the ball like golden tape for the Hail Mary. That is not your ball.
That's not possession.
That is MD Jennings. Yeah. MD Jennings has his body wrapped around it, and you have your hand reached inside where he's holding the football. That is not your ball, kid. You got no chance. Parents, do something about this kid. And then to watch him whine after he takes the ball away. That's my ball. It's my ball. No, it's not. It never was. It never will be.
He's got the teal hat and the red Miami. It looks red, but it's probably orange, the Marlins jersey. I understand it was in Miami, but he was just – I don't know who gave him the advice. Let's give this lawsuit a chance.
It probably makes some sense because it says that young Max Mattis turned 18 last Thursday, went to the Dodgers-Marlins game with his father and colleagues from a real estate firm in Miami.
That's it. All of his dad's buddies get around and said, let's try and file this. I think this kid
After
had
the ball was missed by one of his father's coworkers, Max standing below went after it. The suit says Mattis was able to, quote, firmly grab the ball in his left hand. Pause. Successfully attaining possession of the 50-50 ball. Belinsky, who remained anonymous before the lawsuit, quote, wrapped around Max and angle the ball out of Max's hands, stealing the ball for himself, the suit claims. Belinsky then had the ball authenticated by Major League Baseball before leaving the ballpark with the piece of history. The father of Max, Greg, in his real estate buddy said in an interview, he's not an aggressive person. He was a kid at a baseball game trying to catch a ball.
Yeah, and he did it, and he didn't get it.
My poor son.
He's not aggressive enough. I'm sorry. Teach your kids some aggression.
You guys remember this, right, from Social Network, right? Boom, there it is. If you caught the ball, you would have the ball. You didn't get the ball. You don't have the ball.
That's a
therefore you
winner
catch
right
the
there.
ball. Oh, it's a great move.
Great job,
Yeah,
Armin.
thank you.
Wow, top of your game this morning.
Reminded me of that. Just reminded me of that, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any chance for it. I do think it's funny. Maybe they can delay the auction a little bit. Maybe there's going to be more attention now in the auction when the ball does get, maybe they think they can get a piece of the money, but
more than anything, I like the fact that we were, we did say it was going to go for over $1 million. John, Armin, I didn't realize that it was just going to be a buy it now price of $4.5 million. You'd be able to go and grab this Ohtani ball. No. Opening bid was going to be at $500,000.
Everything's inflated
to start
now.
with.
Everything's inflated now. Everything just shot up in price, and collectibles are one of them. It was a commodity thing that got people going during the pandemic. Is sports collectibles, people and cards and things, and the hobbyists were really into it, and the value of those things, the markets increased, dramatically.
I just like that, John, Armin, we have here today on a Thirsty Thursday as we go into week 4 of the NFL, we got 2 father-driven lawsuits for their sons.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that this one would be even more interesting than what was just dominating the internet yesterday of the quarterback situation at UNLV. Now, once again, Matthew Sluka is the quarterback that transferred from Holy Cross to UNLV earlier this year, and he has decided that he is going to pull off of the team. He is now utilizing his one redshirt year after being a graduate transfer from Holy Cross, and reports coming through, John, and it was topsy-turvy. I was trying to follow as much of it yesterday as I could, because I'll be honest with you, I was enamored with the story.
Yeah.
I was loving every piece of information. The real crux of the argument and where the suit is ultimately going to go, Sluka and his representative and his father saying that they were promised $100,000 when he transferred from Holy Cross to UNLV. UNLV is like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. Here's a $3,000 relocation bonus. Thank you very much. And that's probably what we're going to be able to go with. Now, the school is saying, we've met everything. They came to us after 3 games and a 3-0 start. And Sluka is one of the top players in the country saying, we need $100,000. We don't know where this came from. It is an intoxicating story, and one, John, that I think all college football skeptics and people over the last couple of years have been running and writing doomsday situations for college football. This is what a lot of people were waiting for, a situation just like what is happening at UNLV right now with their quarterback.
And I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Here's the deal. When people come out here and they have emphatic emotions about this one situation, you can ask me, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this changes in no way how I feel about college landscape of NIL or anything else, because this shows you that, hey, either UNLV is not doing it good, or this kid's got bad representation. Or, you don't see this happening at Bama, do you? You don't see it happening at Georgia.
Not yet.
You don't see it happening at Ohio State, do you?
Did see
this is happening, but this is happening all over the place. It really is. This is happening all over the place, except generally the kids wait till the end of the year to hit that transfer portal, or at least the last couple of games. Don't think the kids that have left Wisconsin may not have had a gripe or two very similar to this. Don't think that there is not happening, or there's not situations of this happening all over the country, but you don't see it happening at Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State right now at this point in time in the season. Guess why?
Yeah.
Guess why? Because they're winning, and they're probably up on their rent. They're probably up to date on their rent with their players that they said they were going to do. Now, there's a lot of things going on here. Is it on the kid? Is it on the representation? Is it on the team? It's on all of them. It's on all of them, to be frank with you.
And John, I don't know where, and I like the fact that you mentioned it, like, this isn't going to change how I'm feeling about college sports, right? Like, I'm not going to make any grand assessments as to the state of college sports because of this situation.
Like, Heller had a call yesterday that thought that college football will be dead in 5 years. I'm not going to say anything ridiculous like that.
It's not going to happen.
No way.
They drew 6.5 million people to watch a game on a Saturday afternoon.
It's a healthy sport.
Right now, it's the second most popular sport in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like, I'm sorry. I love the NBA. College football is bigger than the NBA right now on a consistent week in and week out basis.
Not even close.
And John, while I'm reading it and I understand, like, we're going to be able to find out all the facts. They're going to be played out in front of us if this goes into the courts. If this happened in a pro league, and many people want to continue to push, college sports are becoming professional football, semi-professional football. If this happened in a professional league where a team's check bounced, where they just went back on an agreement, we would be hammering the ownership.
Sure.
We would be lambasting the organization and not faulting the athlete. But now in college football, the instinct right away is to say, well, this kid, what are we doing here? You're just quitting on your team, quitting on your guys. If indeed he was promised $100,000 and has a written, somewhat verified statement that he was supposed to get that money, John, I'm all for him pulling whatever card he possibly can to get the cash, because it's his final year of eligibility in college. And my God, I've watched Matthew Sluka play very, very well, beat Kansas, lose me some cash in that game. However, I don't see NFL written on him. Well, I don't see you going to the NFL right now. So you got to go and get that bag if this is the only one he's going to get. Now, if he did just say, hey, actually, I'm kind of hot right now, you guys are going to have to pass me a couple $100,000. That's weak. Then I'm completely on UNLV's side. But John, I could very easily hear a college football coach in the midst of that transfer conversation as they're trying to make sure that this kid coming from Holy Cross is signing on the dotted line and playing football in the Mountain West for UNLV, saying, $100,000, brother, got you. All right, we'll figure it out. We got you.
We
got you.
We'll take care of you. I don't have
we'll
anything.
Get you $100,000. I know we're going to get you.
Yeah,
we're going to get you.
Yeah.
If it's not in writing, he's got a tough beast going. But I could very well hear this going on both sides. The school saying, yeah. We're getting you your $100,000. We're getting you your $100,000. And also the coach being like, yeah, figure it out. We need him. We'll figure it out. Somebody else higher above me is going to get you that cash. And it gets lost in limbo. And we have one of the most fascinating situations in college sports.
As I said, it is the Wild West right now. And people are trying to figure out how they become the most efficient NIL team in the country, right? Only those that are efficient are going to be able to obtain and retain their players as seasons go by. Mm-hmm. Those that make promises and can't balance their budgets and seem to operate in the red each and every year, well, they'll mess up and they'll lose and they'll end up getting canned and they'll end up getting fired. And then a new regime will come in. Teams need now to take a more professional approach like they have in the SEC. General manager. That's why I asked Michael yesterday, do you have a general manager at Madison yet? There's one on the way. That's what Nick Bruiser said. Bruiser's got insider info.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, he did.
Bruiser. All right, Bruiser.
Scoops Bruisewitz dropped some insider info on
okay,
us.
He did. The Bruiser, he does all those interviews after practice.
He knows all these.
Little Mike Nick.
He knows these guys. He's been there in class.
I'm sure when the cameras go off, Bruiser's just like, okay, now give me the real scoop.
Give me the real stuff here.
Right? Yeah. Well, there's a guy up there right now, but he's in a broom closet, so we can't call him the general manager yet. He looks at a lot of film. He will eventually be the general manager, but we got to get money first. When we get money, we'll name him the general manager. And so I have a feeling some stuff's going down here, and we're going to get more professional in that manner, which is great because that's what it's going to take in college sports now. You're going to have to take more of a professional approach, meaning you're going to have to know what kind of NIL money you can, procure for your players and find, other avenues for them to be able to be enticed to come to your program. And then you're going to have to make sure it comes through. You're going to have to make sure the check doesn't bounce.
And there's going to be, at some point, I think players are going to have to start seeing some sort of good faith. Like, I need to know I'm getting this money if it's not a contract or, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to tell you something. And this guy, Sluka, this is just my opinion. But I don't think, you talk about, okay, I heard the take of, well, what about playing for your team and your teammates and finishing this out and caring about love of the game? This kid grew up in Long Island. I'm pretty sure he didn't dream of playing at UNLV. I don't think playing at UNLV had that much cachet where you just like, I really want to put this uniform on one day.
Got to be a rebel.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe he did, but I doubt that he wanted to be a college football player and grew up now. If it was, like an Ohio State or something like that, or like, even a team he might have been a fan of growing up, or Penn State, and he said, man, I don't want to give up this dream of playing, but I know I should take the hard line and do it, but I love doing this right now. I don't think he dreamed of going to UNLV and playing there.
Let me say
so I doubt he cares. Yeah.
He doesn't have it. Where's that heart and that team and that, us mentality? Sluka doesn't have it. And that's okay, because not everybody does. Some people are me people out there. Come on, what are we talking about here? This Green Bay Packer team that we're looking at, I'm sure there's a couple me guys on there. I can't pick them out. I can't find them right now. Not at the beginning of the season, right? I can't find them. Last year I could find them. There were some me guys. It's the way that it is. All sports are like it, and Sluka's a me guy. And that's okay, because you can be whatever you want to be. You'll be judged, and you'll be,
you'll be looked at in a certain way. Yeah.
But that's the choice he's making here. And he's making that choice based off the fact that, like you said, Billy, he's got 1 year of eligibility left. He's probably made no money in his college career on NIL so far. So he's looking for a way to try and make a couple quick bucks to pay off probably his student debt that he has from the 2 schools, if he has any, or some loans that he might have, or just give him a kickstart on adult life.
Amen.
I mean, if he's trying to find a way to make $100,000 while playing football, and he knows he's not going to make it in the NFL, try and make it in college. Try and figure it out.
And why should he might have had other offers.
I'm not going to hate on him for it.
He might have had other offers that he knows would have been more.
Well, figure it's Jalen, and I saw this a bunch of different times. Jalen Rashada 2.0, right? Jalen Rashada was committed to go to Miami, was going to make a very, very healthy living. He was the number 1 overall quarterback recruit in college, pardon me, in high school. And Florida said, no. We're going to give you $13 million. All right. This guy at the car dealership, my man's got you the money. We're going to get it in 3 easy payments. And then boom goes the dynamite. He doesn't get a dime. He ends up getting a couple $100,000 of sorry money. And now he's suing another school as he plays at Georgia in his own conference. Like it will continue to get litigated. And I apologize for UNLV having to put out the statement of, listen, we already know. We have paid him every single dime. God bless the guy that had to write that PR statement, because
AI.
Well, it's true.
Maybe it was AI. Maybe
it's true. It might have been one of those Sports Illustrated AI writers.
Because you can't expect this kid to not try and get his one chance to earn money. He was in FCS for 3 years, right? It was in Holy Cross. It's a Patriot League. He wasn't making money there. He had one chance to get it. He thought he had his best deal, and they're not giving it to him. And he's like, I'm not going to let my earning power pass like this. I have to do this now to save my eligibility, right? And that's his chance. His
really only way is by pulling out here before the 4 games.
I don't think. Yeah.
No, and it is a fascinating situation that I can only imagine we're going to learn so much more about in the coming days. Or it takes till like week 7 of the college football season to start getting more out of it. But Matthew Sluka not going to be playing for the Running Rebels coming up anytime soon, and might be going maybe a little bit bigger than Mountain West. We got a couple of great stories to get to before Match Diamond stops by, coming up at 10 o'clock. A wild card weekend potentially setting up in Major League Baseball. And we might not know who the Brewers are playing on Tuesday until Monday night at like 10 o'clock at night. We'll fill you in as to why. Showtime 33 has a message for Packers fans, and I want to know if you're going to let him back in the club as well as maybe one of the craziest middle linebacker stories you're going to get. We're coming to you on the other side with it. Denver Broncos, Alex Singleton. Props to you. We'll fill you in as to why on the other side. That's John Kuhn, Armin Sari, and Billy Schmid. We're rolling with you starting up 9 to noon, 414-799-1973, NicoletLaw.com. Talking text line never closes and wide open for you, as in 1 hour from right now. We'll play What Does Billy Know? And your guesses are needed, 1 through 10. How many of those illustrious questions will I get right? Thanks to Tap In Golf Bar in Waukesha and in Sussex. Was out at Tap In Golf Bar in Waukesha last night.
Yeah.
Awesome time.
Good time.
Brett and the gang were just flowing drinks left and right over there, Tap In Golf Bar in Waukesha, Sussex location as well going up. And you're going to have a chance to get an hour of free simulator time if you are the winner during What Does Billy Know? Here on 9 to noon as we start up. Stay wide on the game. 9 to noon inside the Iron Jock Studios. That's where we reside on a day in and day out basis. Also on YouTube and X. Thanks for hanging out and streaming the program with us. You can also do that on the iHeartRadio app. Best place to stream any piece of audio, anytime, anywhere, wherever you may be. Also, the best thing to be wearing long sleeve t-shirt wise, Iron Jock's long sleeve tee. Now through September 29th, when you buy 2 small logoed long sleeve t-shirts, you'll get a third for free. That's a $45 item for free when you buy 2. Just enter promo code FALLBOGO at checkout. Good towards both men's and women's tees. Go to ironjock.com for more details. That's ironjoc.com. 414-799-1973. NicoletLaw.com. Talking text line open as always as we start up here on 9 to noon and enjoy a really robust conversation on the NIL, and that's going to continue throughout. I can only assume that there's many more takes and many more things that we're going to learn about this situation at UNLV where, like, Michael Giotti, who works and does Spotrac stuff and kind of runs that website where they give contract information, guys, and everything like that.
Nice. We're going to do this with college kids?
Oh, John, just wait. This one might be my favorite thing that he's put out. UNLV is reportedly set to receive a $25 million plus signing bonus to remain in the Mountain West Conference, not moving to the Pac-12. So an extra $97,000 to their undefeated starting quarterback is simply too much to tolerate. Like, I get it, and I know we're going to get a bunch of these, and I know many people are very frustrated. Like JB said, maybe what the guy meant was college football will be dead because it's basically pro football already with salaries.
Okay.
It's still college football. They're still representing all the universities. And John, I just struggle when I go to the Final Four with Butchie year in and year out. I looked at Brian last year as I'm listening to all these coaches complain and whine.
Whiners.
Tell me about how difficult it is and how toxic it is. And then I'm looking at the largest convention center in Arizona, packed to the brims with any and every piece of merchandise possible for the Final Four. And no, somebody's getting rich. And I'm sorry to say that if you really don't like the fact that the players are going to get a piece of the cash, I don't have anything for you.
I know coaches' salaries didn't go down either, did they?
They did not.
I think coaches are still getting paid a lot too.
They are.
Okay,
yeah.
and they could always do coaches shows, radio and TV.
Yeah, and they're actually signing contracts.
Yeah, they could
contracts that are guaranteed all the way through, 10-year contracts guaranteed.
They could always do shampoo commercial, whatever they were going to do. They could have a clothing
Mark
endorsement.
Pope probably can't do a
Who's doing the shampoo commercial?
I'm making a point. Someone could do Head and Shoulders or something like that.
Shaka's probably not doing that.
Who's doing that?
He's growing hair now. Shaka, shaved
maybe
he's
on the Brian Urlacher.
He's got more hair going now after making the Sweet 16 than before.
At VCU, he was shaving his head by choice. Now, how many guys do that? Right? The bald guys hate that.
That's insanity.
Right. So he
save that move for when you're about halfway. When you got the Hermes going around the top of your head, you know, that horseshoe, the cul-de-sac, whatever you want to call it. That's when you go bald. That's when you start ripping it.
And now, John, I've struggled because your boy has still got the long hair for a reason because it's covering up some certain things. Once them 2 spots meet at the top, once the
power alleys touch,
I'm grabbing a razor blade, and you're gonna see
El
Baldo 2.0.
But you got enough in the back. You could do a skullet. I think skullets are awesome,
especially for a former.
So like full John Clayton style, like the ESPN commercial.
Yes.
I'm done with my head.
I think skullets are better than mullets, personally.
Ooh,
I mean,
okay.
Listen,
that would be good.
There's something cool about that old man with the bald head, and then you turn around, it's like, oh wait, he's got that mullet
full party in the back.
Versus, you got that SEC comb over in the front with the mullet in the back. I think skullet's better than mullet. I will always skullet greater than mullet.
Bill, you got plenty of years left. Don't say that about yourself.
I appreciate you saying that.
You got plenty of good years left.
I appreciate you saying that.
Even I'm getting thin. I have the A's hat on today. You can't see.
Well, yeah, because all your hair's going from the top of your head to your back.
Yeah, I do have that. I do have a little bit of back. All right, now let's not focus on that. Let's get back on topic. All right. No.
Is that an ass hat?
I'm sorry. Oh no, this wasn't. This is just a regular A's.
Okay. We've seen these, right? We've seen those recall hats.
Oh yeah, you can't.
Who passed those through the pro shop at the Coliseum? Who allowed that to get through?
A bitter Oakland A's fan that's going to lose his team, I bet. And I'll tell you something.
Whoever their Krista Jurgensen is, Not doing a good
Not doing a good
job.
job. No.
There's no way our Krista would allow that.
Krista would
it's just-
never have allowed that to go down.
It's just in the regular A's hat, which I've always liked because it's a clean look and it's Packer colors.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what
Yeah,
I've
that
always
works.
liked about it.
Well, you would love, I just sent this in the chat, of a individual that's still working at the Coliseum. So today's the final day at Oakland Alameda Coliseum for the Oakland A's.
Last home game, I saw the grounds crew guys shoveling up dirt for people to fill in their bottles.
Pouring in their water bottles.
R.I.P.
These two guys are ripping out seats yesterday and trying to see if they're going to be able to grab it and walk it out of the stadium.
So my buddy, I was talking to my buddy about this, and he didn't realize that they were doing this in Cleveland in '95 when Art Modell was going to move them to Baltimore.
Mhm.
The last year at the stadium for the last Browns game, they were picking up rows of seats and throwing them on the field. If you remember that game at Memorial Stadium, and I'm like, they'll probably do that at Oakland Alameda. They'll probably start ripping out seats and taking whatever they can. Which, you got to do.
I'm a fan of. I'm hoping they do because those fans, this is going to be a tough day. I can't even imagine how difficult this day would be.
Brutal day.
If you know you're going to the last baseball game in your hometown for your favorite team.
Oh, I'm taking something.
Absolutely.
I'm taking something. This dirt right here in about 30 years when the A's win a World Series in Vegas, this dirt's going to go. This dirt is from the last
thing.
series played at the Coliseum. And you know what? I'm going to miss that rat-infested, possum-infested place. I really am.
Did you like playing? You didn't like playing there?
That was a cool spot. The black hole and everything else. I thought that was a cool spot. I didn't like the baseball field on the football
The last
field.
place where you played on dirt, on the baseball field dirt, right? The last place. It was Miami had that for a while, I know, and stuff like that. So, and when it would rain, you're slogging in the mud. That's old school, And
even better, you would just get to be able to see a couple of absolutely psychotic fans sitting there at the black hole. Like
those guys went nuts.
There was no place.
That was a cool place. I'm not going to lie. That was a very cool place. I'm into history.
Yeah,
I'm into tradition. Even if it's bad, like when we played at the other Coliseum, the LA Coliseum, when the Rams were there.
Yeah,
the Rams were there.
They're talking about that's from the third. That's from the.
Listen, now that place was a dump.
Yeah,
that place. But gosh, was it awesome playing there? You felt like you were at, some sort of
Roman Coliseum.
Yes,
yeah.
It was incredible.
That's awesome.
It was incredible. I love these old places like this. I really enjoyed playing there. I get we need fancy. I get we need new. I get we don't want possums falling out of the ceiling tiles while we're trying to call the baseball game.
But that would be fun. Little adversity never hurt anybody.
I'm not going to lie. I think had I been in that room where the possum started coming through mid-call and the 2-0 pitch. Oh, it's a possum. What is a possum? I never heard of that place before. No, coming out of the roof.
I'll tell you one right now. I know Kevin Harlan's handling that. No problem.
Here comes the possum. He's squiggling out of the ceiling tile. He moves to his left. Now he's cutting to the right down by our spotting board.
Grab the possum, John. I can't do him. No,
that's awesome.
Yeah, go ahead, Billy.
Really, it's just like those old places. You're not going to get a whole lot more of the moments like Matt LePay, who we're going to talk to coming up tomorrow. He's going to go and call his first game at the LA Coliseum, John. And like those traditional, historic venues, sadly, are continuing to get phased out. Now, this one, I don't know.
That Coliseum's cool. He's going to like that. He's really fun.
Dude, he's been itching to be able to get there. And it's crazy to think that somebody that's called games for 30-some years never been there. Like, so even though it continues to change, you are still seeing some of those historic landmarks. This one in Oakland, about 15 years past the time that it should go.
Not a landmark, I would say.
Not a landmark, but one that I still remember watching, and I will never not see the Raiders fans holding up the Brett Favre, we're with you, Brett.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Yeah.
And always has been like my lasting image of the black hole is still that Monday night game after Irv Favre passed away.
No doubt about it. That's an image we'll always remember, that the way they were respectful and gracious during that time, which was crazy because it was the black hole. I think a lot of people will associate some memories with those Moneyball A's teams as well of the Coliseum. They did have good teams, but I'll tell you this right now. We're a small market too, okay? Oakland's lost all their teams in the last 3, 5, 6, 10 years. When the Golden State Warriors are moving to San Francisco, the Raiders are gone, the A's are gone. You got to be vigilant every day. You've got to be vigilant every day because as a small market, you're always being threatened to lose your team. So my heart's out to the Oakland A's fans out there today who are grabbing dirt from the stadium. Don't tell me it's just a business. Do not tell me this game is just a business. When people care so much, it's about legacy, it's about memories, it's about family, it's about connections. It's about genuine love for the team, and those fans are going to lose it now. And it's a shame. It's awful, and I just pray it doesn't happen to any of us, to us, and we have to always be vigilant.
Well, you brought it up.
To always be vigilant.
Okay.
There's Armin's PSA to all the mid and small market teams.
But you know what? We're one of them, and we can joke about it today, or we can say poor Oakland today.
What you're trying to say now? Okay, now I see where you're going with this. What you're trying to say now is take Oakland as a warning, Milwaukee. Take this as flares. Don't let this become us. When the Brewers ask for some sort of tax, dollars. Gladfully pay it. Don't worry about it. Gladfully jump on board. When they go to mobile parking tickets, do not complain. Do not complain.
Oh, that one else.
Gladfully come down and figure out your phone. Damn it.
We had this debate.
The mobile parking, John, I'm with you on all of it.
When they get rid of every pitcher that's over $12 million a year, understand it's for a reason.
Well, John, now I'm not going. I don't want to add to any of the fear. I don't want to add to any of the trepidation. In about 20 minutes.
What's happening today, Billy?
In about 20 minutes, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to have a major ownership announcement. Now,
this is not necessarily bad news.
Not necessarily a bad thing. Not necessarily a Jimmy Haslam takeover transition plan going. It could just be they're announcing Junior Bridgman has a nice 15% stake, and we're going to name the floor after Junior Bridgman. I don't believe that's
Junior Bridgman would at Pfizer Forum. Is that what we're doing?
The Junior Bridgman lower level.
Oh yeah,
right. Concourse.
I like that.
Maybe they're throwing a Wendy's in there instead of a Chick-fil-A for Junior Bridgman. That's Wendy's. Not the case. But only Jimmy Haslam is going to be there, and I don't particularly love it. I don't particularly like it. I'm very, very interested to hear.
This man owns a lot of teams now. He owns a lot of stuff.
Not a whole lot of winners.
These teams are unique. Natural resources, they're assets. You have to protect them. And that's just my feeling, my rant about it. We have to be vigilant. When the Brewers asked for money and people were complaining, I get complaining about tax money for public. I get all that. It's maybe not fair. Tweet through it, complain about it, but know this: if these teams leave, they're not coming back ever. Okay?
I just want to see.
They came back in Cleveland.
That's fair. The Browns, different iteration.
They got expansion from NFL. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Seattle's still telling me that they're going to get a basketball team. They're still telling me that they're going to get the Supersonics back because they fully deserve it. I don't know. And I am, we're going to have our ears to that press conference coming up at 10, and we're going to be able to bring you what pertinent information comes from it for the Milwaukee Bucks. But we're going to be really busy in the 10 o'clock hour because in about 15 minutes, we're going to talk with Matt Schneidman, talk some Packers football. He's got a slight change in his plans, so we change our plans here. A couple of moving hats on 9 to noon, so we'll talk some Packers right there, and also some Crew a little bit later on in the program as they have their final road game of the season coming up tonight, and a wild card weekend that we'll all see play out in front of the Milwaukee Brewers. They try to figure out who their foe will be 5 days from now at American Family Field. On the other side, Alex Singleton of the Denver Broncos did something that have you ever heard of? We got a couple of instances for it, and maybe the most manly thing you've heard of in the NFL so far in 2024. It's 9 to noon with Kuhn, Billy, and Armin on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Billy Schmid, John Coon with all of you. And Armin Starian in John, not the ass hat, in just an Oakland A's hat. Just an Oakland A's hat. Not the full hat that yesterday was continuing to trend for the last couple of weeks. They probably will.
Yeah, they're not going to send those out. I don't think we're going to get those hats.
If you bought them, you got to send it. If they took the money, you got to send it.
Yeah.
Give your money back. What are you talking about?
I don't want a refund. I want the hat.
Well,
So do I.
I agree with you, but I don't think they're going to.
And how are you, the gatekeeper of all things fandom, allowed to wear an Oakland A's hat? That's not the error card,
So-
right? If it was the error card,
Yeah.
I get it. You can wear an error card, but you can't wear the A's hat. What are you doing?
So I was ready for this question, and somehow I knew this was going to come up, and it's a fair question because I don't
Talk
really
about it.
wear. I just said yesterday you shouldn't wear an Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones jersey. I said you shouldn't wear
Yes.
teams, but couple things. Okay, first of all, why I had this hat. I just thought it was a good looking hat, and I bought it on a whim. I think Moneyball came out, so literally it's like 15 years or
You
18
read
years old.
Moneyball and you're like, Billy Bean.
and it's just a
Get
good
Get me
looking
an
hat.
Oakland A's
You
hat.
watched the movie.
I'm like green and gold.
Oh,
you
don't
know?
worry. John, I got into this with Armin.
I'm like, it's a cool.
I got
hat.
into this with Armin. Movie, not nearly as good as the book. Armin
No.
actually doesn't like the movie
It's
all that
okay.
much
'Cause they actually
because
put-
they cut a bunch of it out.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure it actually has real analytics in the book, like real analytics that
Right.
makes
Yeah.
something that goes 6 to midnight.
Well,
You're
they
right.
actually talk about the players that changed the game, like the pitchers that were on their rookie salaries that were all in the Cy Young balloting, and that's actually
Yeah.
one of the reasons why they won.
Oh, by the
instead of-
way.
yeah. Oh, by the way, Barry Zito was like the best pitcher in baseball with Mark Mulder. And company,
Correct.
But sorry.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so I'm like, this is a good look. It's green and gold. I love the Packers, colors, obviously. And I'm like, this would be a cool hat.
Oh, so it's a Packers hat.
Well, it's not, but I mean, I could match it with stuff. I'm like, this is a pretty cool hat. I don't
was
have a
going
hat
through the
with an
closet-
A on it. My name's Armin. I wanted a hat with an A on it. There's
Well,
another
I was
thing.
going
Like, I'm
through
a
the
little Timmy.
But I was going through the closet the
Yeah.
other day, Armin, and I saw 10 hats that I had before I started doing this. Before I started
Sure, I get it.
I had an Angels hat. It's got an A on it. You want it? I got an Angels hat.
He might, yeah.
I got a Dodgers
Armin
hat.
hat.
You look like Mike.
I got a
Trout with
Tigers
that.
hat.
Yeah,
I got a Yankees hat.
they're clean
Like,
looks.
I have all these hats from back in the day. I'm talking these hats are probably all like 15, 20
Yeah.
years old.
When you had to accessorize with a hat that made the outfit, made the match.
Made the outfit.
My-
But I have all these
yeah.
hats, and I thought to myself, I'm never allowed to wear these again. Because if I wore these one time, Armin would be mad at me. He
I-
would be
Would I
holding
really
me in
be-
contempt of fandom.
Would I really have been mad at you for that? I don't think I would have been
I think
angry.
you might have, yeah.
The reason I said I don't like doing it normally, but I said to myself, okay, can I wear this? Well, it's not one of my team's rivals. It's not even in the National League at all. I think we have an affinity with them as a small market, Oakland. I'm like the A's. So I'm
Sure.
like, okay. And, I just thought it'd be okay. That being said, I really don't wear this hat much. I have it. I bought it. I probably don't wear it enough to justify ever even buying it. So today I am. Okay?
Was it on the clearance rack at Lids?
It wasn't on the clearance rack, but I think I had the buy one, get the second
The
half
buy one,
off.
get one half off.
Which
Or
is
I
a
always love when you got the
great
big
deal.
sticker with like $15 on it.
Oh, those are the best hats.
Man, I miss
those are
those,
the
dude.
best hats. That's the section I go right towards. So I'm normally not. I'm gonna find the hat that's good fashion hat.
Mhm.
But in this case, I decided to get it, and it came in handy today because I wanted to tribute the great fans of Oakland who unfortunately are losing their team today.
That is the
Yeah.
tough thing, man. They're losing their team. Now, I will say, they're going to the best city in the world.
We
If indeed they are actually going to play in
We
Las
think.
Vegas.
Certain people would have you believe that. We don't.
They
know if
might
that's
spend a
happening.
year at the AA.
Three of them, actually.
Wait, no, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy-
3 of them in Sacramento.
Billy's talking about Sacramento, the greatest city in the world. That's what Billy's talking
Yeah.
about. They're going to Sacramento.
It's the capital of California.
Yes,
Who
it
doesn't
is.
love
It is.
Sacramento?
Hey, light the beam, right?
Light the
Light
beam.
the beam.
Are they going to do that, you think, for the A's?
I think their mayor or someone said we want this team forever. Like they're trying to make it say like we can build a stadium and we're the Sacramento Rays.
Yeah.
Just don't change the beautiful Gothic A here, the look. You can change the colors. Just keep the look. That's an
Wait,
iconic
did you
look.
change the colors?
Well, they're
If
going
the,
to change
if
them.
the A's changed the colors,
They did this in Kansas City. They moved. Remember, they were the Philadelphia A's.
Mm.
They moved to Kansas City. They were blue and red, I believe, and then they went to Oakland. They became green and gold.
I think they're going to have a totally different name when they go to Vegas.
Las Vegas A's. What are you talking about?
They're not going to be the Las Vegas Athletics.
They should be. If they're smart, they should keep
I
the
think they're
branding.
going to be the Kings. I think they're going to find some way to change it up and Vegasify that name. If indeed they actually go play in Vegas.
Maybe they should be.
Because
Maybe
I'm
they
still
should-
questioning if that Tropicana spot is big enough.
should be the
I don't think that Tropicana spot is big enough.
the Las Vegas resort fees. That's what they should call them.
The Las Vegas comps. That would work out if you can ever actually find one of those.
Yeah, you can find one anymore.
There's John Kuhn. I'm Billy Schmidt. Armin Sarian's right here. Hour 2 features Matt Schneidman and starts up on the other side as we'll get into all the Packers and Vikings conversation. Aaron Jones said he's going to leap in the stands if he scores on Sunday. How will he be met? We'll talk about it. We'll ask Matt Schneidman on the other side. It's 9 to noon on the Game. 9 to noon, hour 2. I thought we were about to get some Armin Sarian singing here to some Dua Lipa. You just the microphone was off and he was jamming out as our guy Matt Schneidman joins us in hour 2 of 9 to noon here on a Thursday. Generally on Fridays, we get a judgment from Matt Schneidman on the Green Bay Packers opponent coming up this week. This week a little earlier because I was listening, Matt, last night. Now, I don't know exactly what was going on with Doug Russell last night. All right. I know it's big USC week. I know he's all fired up for the Badgers and Trojans. I love muscle. But when the love muscle John Kuhn is saying that Packers fans should be welcoming in Aaron Jones with open arms as he potentially leaps into the Lambeau stands after scoring a touchdown, Matt, thank you for bringing some sense to the conversation yesterday when you said, to hell with that, shove him right out of the stands if he tries making a Lambeau leap attempt after a touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. Good work by you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not here to tell people how to fan. I'm just an objective reporter, as we always like to say. I'm very robotic, as John likes to say. He hasn't made that joke in a while, though. I like the shirt you got on today, John.
Thank you.
I think I thought of it as this, and it's not about me, but if the Yankees are playing a former Yankee and he's on the Red Sox and he comes to Yankee Stadium, you show him respect before the game, especially someone as beloved by the fan base as Aaron Jones was when he was here for 7 years.
Like Johnny Damon would be the example, right?
Yeah, I mean, you show him love before the game, not during it. And it doesn't have to be like a malicious, I hate you.
Exactly.
If he jumps in the stands, you're not going to be like, yeah, go Aaron Jones, but like a playful shove. It doesn't have to be anything malicious.
Little Miller latte on his back.
No, if you do that, you should be kicked out of the stadium.
Well, listen, Dontavian Wicks pilled that poor girl's Jack and Coke, John, after his Lambeau
jumping
leap.
into their seats.
Yeah. You're bumping my beer. I apologize.
You shouldn't do that on purpose.
Half the time I jumped up in there, I was hoping they'd spill it on me.
Just hoping to get a little bit of a scent
just to get a whiff of it. I'm excited for the post game.
You gotta know why you're feeling the energy.
That happened on Dorsey against the Bears in '96.
I got beer spilled all over me.
I got beer spilled all over me. Yeah, he smelled like it in the huddle the rest of the game. The thing is, though, we talk about Packer people, right? Aaron Jones was always Packer people, and fans will never forget that, even though he's going to be playing against us and trying to win games for a different team in purple. Packer fans still won't forget that. So I agree, man. I think everyone's going to handle it the right way,
Yeah, there have been
but you're not going to cheer against them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there have been a couple responses to my story this morning being like, he chose to go to the Vikings, screw him. And sure, if you're a fan, you can have that perspective. But at the same time, it's not like, the Packers gave him the offer he wanted and he still chose to go to the Vikings. Jair Alexander said it to me yesterday when I talked to him. He was like, he didn't want to leave here. So I think Packer fans need to realize that too. Sure, there is definitely some revenge on his mind, and he's not really taking the same approach as Malik Willis took going into the Tennessee game, but that's fine.
Take it a step further. He took a pay cut the year before. Like, he actually acquiesced to Packers' requests the year before just to stay for his last season.
Mm-hmm.
If he wasn't so loyal and dedicated to this franchise in this city, he would have been gone a year earlier.
Right. And he did take that pay cut. I think it was a $5 million pay cut going into the 2023 season. And then the Packers wanted him to take about a 50% pay cut going into the final year of his second contract with the team. This is a business. And if you're like, oh, you screw him, he went to the Vikings, that just shows you're very pro-team. I'm trying to look at this down the middle. Neither side is wrong, I think. I think the Packers...
Wrong. Well, what would there is no shred of wrongness with Aaron Jones. There's a little bit of like, damn, that sucks out of what the Packers did. But you're not wrong. Sometimes you got to have shrewd business. Be tough with the numbers. And this NFL, this league, for some reason, allows teams to renege on contracts, but not players.
Right. Like, if you're like, screw him for going to the Vikings, well, I'd imagine part of Aaron Jones' decision to go to the Vikings is not what they're paying him only, but because he wants to shove it in the Packers' face twice a year and say, you offered me a 50% pay cut? Screw you. And guess what? That's fine, because that's business. As you saw what Aaron Jones wrote in the Players Tribune yesterday, he has nothing but love for Goody and Matt LaFleur. They flew to his father's funeral in Texas in 2021 in the offseason. Like, I think two things can be true. You can be upset at how the team handled your contract situation, but you can still have love for them as people. Devontae Adams. What? Go ahead.
I was gonna, just to that last point. I don't even think he's upset with the way they handled his contract.
Oh, I definitely do. He clearly is.
Oh, you do? You feel like he is? I don't. I think he understands, and bygones will be bygones. I think in the moment you're like, really? Again? You want me to renegotiate again?
Especially and
then it really quickly subsides. I at least for me, in my situation, very similar to Aaron Jones, it was, hey, we're going to have you back. And then it's, we might have you back. We're probably not going to have you back. Well, we might still have you back. And with Aaron Jones, it was a lot of back and forth in that situation too. And a lot of asking him to give money back. And listen, it was not decided by the Packers going into this offseason. It was never decided going into this offseason that it was going to be Aaron Jones out, Josh Jacobs in. Right? There was a lot of thinking that Aaron Jones would still be the guy, and the guy they'd bring in would be a number 2.
Right, which is why Aaron Jones does have hard feelings, because he feels he was probably misled a little bit.
I understand it, and it can hurt. I also believe the fact that Aaron Jones is not the type to have malice in his heart. I believe the Players Tribune stuff, what he says.
That's what I'm saying.
I believe he needed a new job and took a great deal, and that's what it is. I don't think he's out there. I think people could recognize the difference between like when Favre, or I could maybe Za'Darius, or someone wants to stick it to a team, wants to make it obvious. And when a guy just needs a new job and wants to do the best he can for his team. And what did Jamal say when he went to Detroit? Jamal Williams said, "Oh, they love me now. I got a new girlfriend. It's nice to feel loved again."
I think it's obvious that Aaron Jones wants to stick it to the Packers, which is fine. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I think he wants to play well. I mean, do you think? Yeah, maybe you're right. I
hope he wants to stick it to the Packers, and I hope the Packers want to stick it to him. That's Absolutely. The point of the sport. That's the point of the game.
Sure.
I think one of the spots, then one of the guys that we're not talking enough about here, Matt, and what I'm excited to see is we've talked about what Aaron Jones is going to bring to the party. I'm excited to see what Josh Jacobs is going to bring to the party here coming up this weekend, because that's an offense or a defense in Minnesota that is going to get after you in the pass game. They're going to blitz all over the place. And as much as Aaron Jones wants to prove the Packers wrong, I'd assume there's a lot of Josh Jacobs that's trying to prove the Packers right here on the running back battle that we're going to see coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know how much Josh Jacobs is going into this game thinking, oh, I'm going up against Aaron Jones. I have to prove the Packers right. I just think Josh Jacobs wants to say, all right, it's about time I get in the end zone, since he hasn't gotten in the end zone yet. Now, he didn't have the best day, obviously, against the Titans, but Josh Jacobs is I don't want to say the right choice for this team, but I get why they made the decision. And he's already showed, for example, against the Colts, why they did it. He can be a workhorse guy. He hasn't caught as many passes as I thought he would. That is largely in part to the fact that they only have so many targets to go around when Malik Willis is throwing less than 20 times a game. But I think we'll see Josh Jacobs get in the end zone here sooner rather than later. Fun fact, we talked about how good Aaron Jones was in the passing game. Josh Jacobs has never caught a passing touchdown in his career.
That's hard to believe. It is. I don't know how much it was part of the offense wherever he went, but he seems to be able to, do it, obviously, have the ability. So that's hard to believe. And Emmanuel Wilson, that could have been his, the big screen pass. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Emmanuel Wilson has more touchdown catches than Josh Jacobs in his career.
I think he'll get one this year. That's my hot take.
Well, that is
a very hot take.
So hot.
Wow.
So
blazing,
boiling hot.
Blazing to the point where you need oven mitts.
Can you let me know when I do that so I don't have the Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown, like when he fumbles to the goal line again? Can we make sure that happens?
I can't predict when in the future when he'll
just
fumble.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly,
good one. Matt, what do you see in this Brian Flores defense? There's a lot of complimentary statements going back and forth. LaFleur, very complimentary of Brian Flores. Brian Flores, extremely complimentary of what Matt LaFleur is doing here. I thought he was the biggest acquisition going into 2023 in the division because I thought he's that good of a defensive coordinator. Now, played well. They did well last year in the midst of a lot of issues. Then later into the season, Matt LaFleur and company carved them up on New Year's Eve. What do you see maybe a little bit different? Is it more of just the players or everybody in year 2 in that Brian Flores system just buzzing here to start?
Yeah, I go with that. It's chaotic. And Brock Purdy, after the Vikings beat the 49ers a couple weeks ago, called it crazy. Like, he just presents you so many different looks. And the guy in the middle of it all is Harrison Smith. Aaron Rodgers used to always say that Harrison Smith is the best in the league at disguising stuff, making it look like he's coming on a blitz and dropping back, making, something look different than what it actually is. And that messes with the quarterback. And, Jordan Love was able to solve that defense in Minnesota last year, wasn't able to solve it by any means, along with the rest of the Packers offense, when the Vikings came to Lambeau in the middle of the season. That was kind of the low point of the Packers season. So they're going to try and make things different or difficult for Jordan Love. I bet with I'd say decreased mobility for Love, they'll definitely try and send the house at him, make him move around, try and force him out of the pocket, see how well he can do that. And then we'll see how well Jordan Love handles it. They're going to have a lot of quick reads, get the ball out, and it might not be as many long developing plays with a quarterback who can't run as much.
Do you think he can't run as much?
Yeah, he said that himself.
Okay, I don't think he really ran that much to begin with, and
he's not a runner.
I think a lot of his game is just being around and manipulating the pocket. To me, I don't think this injury is going to affect the way that Jordan Love plays in this game.
Yeah,
I don't see it. And if he says that it's limiting him, I mean, that's posturing that the Pack. I'll just play the posturing card that's been played the last 2 weeks out of the Packers for limiting him or listing him as questionable 2 weeks ago before doubtful and then questionable and then running him out on the field. I mean, he didn't look very bothered with the way he was warming up on the field last Sunday.
What I mean is obviously Jordan Love's game is not predicated on scrambling around and these read options that Malik Willis has been doing. I just mean more mobility-wise. Jordan told us last week that having a metal brace on your left knee makes you less mobile. He said he doesn't have the same mobility. Yesterday, he said he's definitely more mobile with another week of wearing and another week of rehab under his belt. So is it going to drastically affect how he plays? No, because like you said, he doesn't have all that getting out and run stuff. What I meant is more just moving around in the pocket, extending plays. And if Brian Flores wants to test him, see if he can get flushed out of the pocket and still make a play, or if he's going to be a little less mobile. But yeah, I don't think it should affect things too much, just because that's not really Jordan Love's game in the first place.
It's strange that we're going into a game with Justin Jefferson on the other side, and I feel like he is like topic D or E, F on the conversation as to where
I don't think so.
Interested right now. Well, no, I mean, everybody's talking about Brian Flores' defense, Aaron Jones returning, Jordan Love's knee. Like, that matchup between two of the best at their positions is down the list on storylines where generally if they match up, it's the A topic to start.
Yeah, I think there are a couple different ways they can go about it. Obviously, we've seen the Packers keep Jair on one side and give Justin Jefferson to Eric Stokes before. That didn't work out. Obviously, we've seen Jair shadow Justin Jefferson. That did work out. Are they going to let him shadow him again? I'm interested to see how a new defensive coordinator handles it. How much is Xavier McKinney going to shade to that side and help over the top? Like, you have to take away Justin Jefferson first and foremost. If Jalen Naylor beats you, and it looks like Jordan Addison's going to be back this week after missing 2 games. He did damage at Lambeau Field last year. He can be a guy.
He did.
You just got to force the other guys to beat you. Justin Jefferson is arguably the best wide receiver in football. You just got to take him away. And if it means you put two potential all-pro players on him to take him away, Alexander and Kenny over the top, then that's what you got to do.
Absolutely agree. Couldn't agree with you more. I think that's exactly what Jeff Hafley's going to do. Years of watching defensive coordinators prepare for offenses, it's A1. Who's their guy that can blow a game up? That's the first target, and that's Justin Jefferson. A2, who's the guy that can slowly kill you? Well, that'll be Aaron Jones. So that will be second target. So figuring out a way to limit those two. And listen, Sam Darnold, if Sam Darnold, who's getting pressured on nearly 40% of his dropbacks, if Sam Darnold in this reclamation year finds a way to beat you with the complementary pieces of Munt, Naylor, and is Addison going to be back? Do we know this yet, Matt?
He was on the practice field
he
yesterday.
Was a limited participant in practice.
Okay.
So we don't know for sure yet.
If Sam Darnold can beat you with those complementary pieces, then he played a great game. But I'm taking my chances with that. You can't eliminate everything going into a game. But if you try to eliminate Justin Jefferson and then your secondary slow down as Aaron Jones, I think that's the recipe for Jeff Hafley and his defense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to see it because this offense for Minnesota has been very, very interesting to watch. Like, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that did not believe Sam Darnold could play at all. I still think Kevin O'Connell is a massive, massive part of this because I think, John, he's one of the best coaches in all of football.
Yeah, and one last thing, Matt, as you look into this, a lot of and this is going to sound crazy. A lot of the Vikings' offensive success, aside from a 97-yard touchdown catch by Justin Jefferson, a lot of their offensive success has come on the heels of their defensive success, turnovers and sacks, creating short fields for their offense to be successful.
Yeah, I think some guys were saying yesterday, and this is from the Packers' perspective, how to, kind of make things better for their offense on the flip side. Sam Darnold's not throwing the ball away. He has 2 interceptions, so there are going to be some opportunities, but he is spreading the ball around. Like Jalen Nailor is tied for the lead in the NFL with 3 touchdown catches, along with Justin Jefferson, who I believe leads the league in 4th in receiving yards, I think. But Sam Darnold is. This isn't a bad thing. There's not a bad connotation to this, but taking what he's given. And Packers have to force him into mistakes because he's clearly very comfortable when, everything's in front of him and he can just throw the ball to whoever's open. But, he's not going to be Anthony Richardson or Will Levis and just give you the ball and make boneheaded mistakes. You have to force him into that. And I think Jeff Hafley's defense can do that. And we'll see if they execute it on Sunday.
Yeah, Jefferson 6th in yards per game and 4th in receiving yards overall, tied, as you mentioned, with 3 TDs receiving, tied for the league lead so far. Like it's an offense that's going to be fascinating. I do think their pieces on defense are also a factor in here. They grabbed Jonathan Grenard last week. He has 3 sacks against his former team, the Houston Texans. And the inside backers, Ivan Pace Jr., he's also on the injury report for the Minnesota Vikings. That's an interesting one next to Blake Cashman, who, again, maybe I should have known, Matt, who Blake Cashman was last year for 100 tackles for the Houston Texans. Be completely honest with you, I wasn't familiar with his game. He's got some game, and he seems to be very, very crucial into how much they disguise and how much heat they bring up the middle for that Minnesota defense with Flores.
Yeah, the Packers are going to have to be on their game with their communication up front. They're blocking up the middle. Doesn't look like Jordan Morgan's going to play again, so it looks like it's going to be Sean Ryan. He's had some moments. Good and bad. So Josh Myers is going to have to be on his game, calling everything out. And like I said, they're going to have some quick options. And there's nothing wrong with a quick 5-yard pass that you get rid of in 2 seconds if it means a couple of those get the first down. And I think Jordan Love's good at that, recognizing pressure, knowing when to get rid of it. He doesn't really panic under all that pressure, as we saw last time these 2 teams played. So both teams will have a plan on Sunday. It'll be a good chess match.
There are answers to these tests. I mean, Brian Flores' defense is no different than, when we would get 8-up looks or 7-up looks or double A gap mug looks from other defensive coordinators. Every defensive coordinator has tried it over the years. Brian Flores has found a way to show it and drop into coverages that other coordinators would not dream to coverage or drop into coverage. So I truly believe Matt LaFleur, because I think this is, to this point, I mean, it's only been 3 games in a season, but within 3 games, I think what Matt LaFleur has done each and every week, redefining what this offense looks like, I have no doubt he's going to find answers to this 3rd down pressure package that Minnesota throws out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's anyone who can find answers and devise a game plan to counter whatever defense is going to throw you, it's Matt LaFleur. But at the same time, Brian Flores is good at what he does for a reason. So we'll see what happens.
Matt, you're pretty good at what you do. So I don't assume this will be a massive problem. But tonight, the football feast at 5 o'clock when we start up with Drew and KB, Appleton, and Calumet Street. You join at 6 o'clock, which is generally the time the Matt Schneidman show starts. How is your attention going to be while you're potentially watching the New York Yankees win the AL East tonight against those Baltimore Orioles? Are you just not even going to worry about those first 3 innings while we're on the football feast?
Potentially. I will, since it's not on StreamYard, I don't have a TV in my office that I'm currently in. I have one out in my living room. So I'll be sitting on my couch on audio only and having the game on my TV.
Good call. Good call. As you should. As you should.
Yankees fans didn't care about division titles. It's all about the World Series. That's what I always thought. I'm just interested to know if that's the case with
Matt.
We don't care as much about division titles as the World Series. I think that's fair, but I would like to secure a first-round bye in the playoffs.
I get that.
And that gets locked up if they beat the Baltimore Orioles.
They just have to win one more game out of their final 4, and they play the Pirates the next 3 after this.
No drama there then.
What was that in reference to, Armin? I'm just curious. Was there some sort of shade?
Yankees.
He thought he was taking a shot at the big bad Yankees and the fans, but it's like, no, duh, they care more about the World Series.
Yankees fans, you can't keep them happy with division titles. Am I right in saying that? I don't think that's out of line.
I don't know. Brian Cashman's kept his job this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be happy if they win the division, but we got bigger fish to fry.
Cashman got to go advance in the playoffs here, get to the World Series, or is he not in any issue?
No, division titles
I
are.
mean, he should have been in an issue long time ago, but he clearly isn't. So let's just win one this year.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, hope those Astros aren't in your guys' way because that seems to be a little.
They will be at some point. I already know it.
You've already come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
I like that. Matt, appreciate it, man. We'll talk later on tonight.
Thanks, guys.
That's Matt Schneidman of The Athletic, theathletic.com. And you follow him on Twitter, which is also X now, where you can also stream 9 to noon every single day. Also Instagram. Now, I don't know exactly what Matt Schneidman's doing on Instagram. However, I know he gained a bunch of followers when he went to Brazil, John. So, I can't
Gym selfies.
I can't promise you that there's like a link in bio. I can't
Beach
promise
selfies.
you of all the selfies that you're going to see. Hopefully not too many shirtless ones. But definitely some of the tats.
Yeah.
Definitely some of that sleeve tattoo. No doubt about it. All right. 414-799-1973. Get your final guesses in right now. 414-799-1973. We play What Does Billy Know with Tappan Golf Bar in Waukesha and in Sussex. 2 beautiful locations for you to be keeping your swing fresh all year long. That's on the other side. Armin Sarian has been called out because his questions are far too easy, John.
Too easy.
Too easy. Is he hitting the easy button for me from Staples coming up here on the other side? Or am I going to struggle in What Does Billy Know? We all find out next. Your guesses on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line are pertinent. Needed to be in to try to win. It's 9 to noon with Kuhn, Billy, and Armin on the game.
John Kuhn here with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and with the baseball playoffs right around the corner, it's a time to remind ourselves of how lucky we are to have this Brewers team this year. A new manager, some important pieces, and yet what an outstanding season we've witnessed. Well, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin wants to remind you that they too finished first, but in the windows and door leagues. Pella manufactures all their own products, and each one of those products gets tested thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time, and quality, craftsmanship, and innovation are built into every Pella product for timeless beauty and performance. And you know this because you pick that craftsmanship and innovation. Pella's premium windows and doors are best in their class, not only for endless styles, but for the features you cannot see. And now for something you almost cannot believe, get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. But you got to hurry. That deal only lasts until the end of the month, September 30th, that is. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. And when you go into that showroom, let Gina Della know that John Kuhn was the one who sent you in there. Visit PellaWI.com today.
9 to noon on the game. We're getting better at nicknames, but we're going to have to try a little bit harder here. 414-799-1973 is the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Great nickname, Nooners. That's where you had to put your guesses in for What Does Billy Know? Brought to you by Tap In Golf Bar, Waukesha, and in Sussex. 2 beautiful locations. Leagues start up in October. Last couple of days to get in on their summer rates before September ends. And the best part about their league sign-up, John, you can play any day of the week because we're all busy. Can you play on Thursdays every single week? I can't guarantee that. Maybe one week I'm going to have to go on Tuesday night. Maybe one week I'm going to have to go Wednesday afternoon right after work. They make it easy at Tap In Golf Bar in Waukesha and Sussex to get in, get your swings in, and tap in with your swing this year. At Tap In Golf Bar was there last night with owner Brett. A couple of different Nooners were there as well. It was a good time had by all, and it did let me know that I got to polish up my swing. I got to figure out what we're doing because I only played like 3 times this year, and it is in a bad place, John. I'm going to get one of those little tripods like the kid had last night at Tap In Golf Bar. He had to have taken 1,800 swings. My elbow hurt for him. I'm not going to go that big on the swing change, but I'm going to keep it fresh over at Tap In Golf Bar this year. I think that's the key to it.
Young kids like to go ham. They like to figure it out, and they can roll.
Oh
I mean, they can just swing, and that's what makes it fun. All right, we got to jump into this.
Let's go.
Right,
Let's go.
What does Billy know? Week number.
Not anything.
Is this 4?
This is week 4.
Yep, week 4.
Week 4 already.
Week
What
4.
does Billy know? Okay, here we go. What does Billy know about Packers, Vikings history and rivalry? What do you know, Billy?
Border battle. Okay, let's go.
Nothing crazy this week. Nope. Hawk Tua influencer. All right, I'm giving you a legit.
Talk Tua podcast is doing pretty well.
It is.
All right, let's jump into it. The Minnesota Vikings were created in 1961. Playing twice a year. They played 10 games over the first 5 years. How many times did they beat the Packers in their first 5 years?
0.
One.
They got one.
They got one token victory.
One out of 10.
Wow.
One token victory in the first 5 years. This was the 60s. This was Lombardi. I mean,
yeah.
This was big time.
Dominating.
Who is the Minnesota Viking that played the most games against the Green Bay Packers in a Viking uniform? He is a Hall of Fame quarterback for 18 seasons.
Wow. Okay. So hold on. Can you repeat that for me again? Sorry, I was so ready to say John Randall, and then you said quarterback, so I had to pivot. Could you read that for me one more time?
Who is the Viking that has played the most games against the Green Bay Packers? He is a Hall of Fame quarterback that played 18 seasons.
Played the most games against the. Oh, Fran Tarkenton.
There you go. Cha-ching.
Thank you.
Thought you might get that quicker.
Dude, I'm like, where? I could not get past the 80s. Yeah. I'm like, I know Gus Farad concussed themselves way too many times to be able to do that.
Not ripping on you.
Dante only played a few years. Randall Cunningham was only there for 1 year. I had to work through it. Sorry.
No, nothing. Those guys were nothing.
Speaking of quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks were on an active roster for the Vikings and the Packers for at least one NFL game. Name them.
Name on both active rosters for at least one game. So Brett Favre.
Brett Favre won.
Wow.
Armin required 2 out of 3, and it sounds like you might not do it. So
yeah,
we'll keep the requirements at 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Name.
Oh my God. I'm absolutely stunned.
Okay, Jim McMahon or Steve Bono. Armin would have taken either one.
Yeah, I know Jim McMahon. No idea who Steve Bono is.
Bono backed us up in 98, backed up Favre in 98, and he was with the Vikings early in the year. He was a backup in San Francisco for a while. McMahon beat us in 93 on a miracle.
I wish it would have been Joe Webb because I always liked the cut of his jib.
Interesting you say that.
All right,
question 4.
1 for 3. Question number 4. Who leads the all-time series between the Vikings and the Packers?
Packers.
There you go.
Very simple.
Thank you.
There's one for you.
Thank you for that one.
On January 5th, 2013, the Packers beat the Vikings 24-10 in the wild card round just 6 days before falling to.
Well, we don't talk about that.
Just 6 days after falling to the Vikings in Week 17.
Yes.
Who was the Vikings starting quarterback in this game?
Joe Webb. My guy.
Armin, this stuff that you talk about over and over and over. I mean, did you just pull these from your memory bank, or did you try and really find stuff from this rivalry?
So when we start doing, if you want to know, when I start doing questions, of course, I think of the things that pop up right away. Then I start to hit
and
the
then
brakes.
You dig after like 6 or 7.
I got to start digging around here for more stuff.
You could have asked who won MVP of the the NFL that season or any. I mean, you could have.
Ooh, that would have been a good one with AP.
Yeah,
Yes.
I could have done all those things. But I asked this
Question number 6. This former Packers quarterback only played short periods for 2 years in the NFL, but his most infamous moment came against the Vikings in '95 when both starting QB Brett Favre and backup quarterback Ty Detmer got injured, tied 24-24 with less than a minute to go, and facing 3rd and 1 at the Vikings 38-yard line. He called an audible for a rollout. Instead of the called play,
I can't think of the name.
This guy was such an idiot.
which was a quarterback sneak and then threw an interception that would eventually lead to the loss. Who
no.
was the quarterback that had egg on his face?
Dude, why can I not think of his name? KB brings it up every time you talk about a backup quarterback.
He got
ever.
cut, and he got cut that week too. And oh my gosh, I was so mad.
Oh my
I
God,
was
why can I not think of his name?
I was 10 or 11.
For some stupid reason, I keep saying, oh my.
5.
Sorry,
Four.
Billy.
Count it out. Count it out. It's
3,
fine.
2.
I keep thinking Travis Jervey. And like I said, I know it's not. And I know listen, I've heard his name 150 times.
TJ
Rubley.
Rubley.
TJ Rubley.
Because KB talked to the coach right after the TJ Rubley situation. I've heard that story 1,000 times. How did I not get it?
KB talked to coach right after.
On the morning show the next day, they had to ask about the TJ Rubley, and then
They cut him soon. I don't know if it was on the plane or whatever, but they cut him after that.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that so many different times.
3 out of 6.
Almost just
I'll
had to
tell
hit the dump button.
I'll tell you what, if you call a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1, and your quarterback then decides to throw the ball instead on a rollout, and it's intercepted, to tell him don't get on.
Don't get on the plane.
Now, if he rolls out and throws a touchdown pass, okay, you might be the backup next week.
Well,
okay,
it'll work out.
We might insert you. You roll out and throw an interception, you are canned.
I thought the worst 3rd down quarterback sneak mistake was going to be 2 weeks ago. Our freshman left guard ran and thought we called a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 10.
Oh, well,
it was a pass play and he gave up a sack. So
yeah, that's fine.
Didn't work as bad.
I'm seeing crazy stuff around the NFL too. Every short yardage situation, teams are running sideways. The Packers did against the Colts. Every team is running. Why are we running horizontal? Did we forget short yardage? It's to puncture the defense. I digress. Question number 7. Monday Night Football earned the highest ratings in cable television history on October 5th, 2009, which was the first time Brett Favre would face the Packers as a Viking. The Vikings eventually prevailed 30-23. Favre's first touchdown pass was a 1-yarder to this tight end,
Visanthe Shenko.
That is correct. Show him your Shenko. Visanthe Shenko.
I hated that guy.
Well, don't you guys remember his most infamous moment? Wasn't his fault. The Fox cameras had him in the locker room after a win and he was naked.
Holy cow.
Right? You don't remember that story? Oh,
I don't, but
it was
clearly
me and Billy.
Clearly, it was a monumental moment.
Me and
for
Billy
Harmon.
just hit you with the "Show me the money" meme.
Well, there was no such thing as a meme back in 2009, but that was as close as it got.
But you just got memed. Armin just got memed. That was fun. Question number 8.
Oh, okay.
Really?
When the Packers and Vikings faced off in 2017, this Vikings linebacker broke Aaron Rodgers' collarbone with a hit that was eventually made illegal during the following season. That hit was called a burp. Who was that player?
I was there. Anthony Barr. I was there in the stands while they were cheering as he gets carted off. I've never been mad.
Yeah, and Viking.
What are you talking about? He burped him. There's no such thing. Yeah, it is. It's when you use your body to put that extra weight on him. That's called football.
Yeah, that's called a tackle.
Well, whatever.
That is called taking somebody to the ground. Fundamentals is what we would call that, not a burp.
They're dirty in Minnesota, though. That's all I know. All right, go ahead. 5 out of 8.
5 for 8. Armin just makes the easiest questions.
That was okay.
Rain-soaked Monday night battle in 2000, the Packers famously won in overtime on Antonio Freeman's circus grab when it deflected off of this Vikings cornerback.
See, now this isn't easy, right? It was just to remember the cornerback.
No, I don't think this one's
okay.
easy.
All right, okay then.
Yeah,
make up questions. I have to make up questions with the accurate amount of difficulty.
I have no clue. The thing I remember about this, John, is I'm sitting in the stands with my dad, and everybody's walking away. I'm like, Dad, why are people leaving? The game's not over. He thinks they lost. No clue what his name is.
Hit the button, Armin.
No,
Chris Dishman.
Chris Dishman.
But here's the deal, Armin.
You give me 100 guesses, I wouldn't have gotten
What
that.
would be awesome is if you did them like pin locations on the golf course: 3 easy, 3 moderate, 3 hard.
That works
and then a wild card for number 10.
Oh my God.
And then John just waves one of the flags, so I know like what the difficulty is on this pin location.
How am I
This
supposed
is a
to
blue
know?
flag.
What's
blue
the-
flag?
This
what's
is a white
not?
flag. This is a red flag. Okay, question
Why
number
don't you
10.
just answer the questions?
In 1998, victory for the Vikings over the Packers at Lambeau Field snapped the second longest home winning streak in NFL history. How many consecutive home games did the Packers win to that point?
I only listen to
This
so
is a
much
red
of the
one.
questions. This would be a red one. Let's go. Most consecutive home games they had won. I'm going to go with 24, Bob.
Oh!
25.
It's 25.
So close.
So close.
Only second to the 70s Dolphins, I believe.
Man!
And I was so
Well,
mad.
How many did we get in a row against the Lions? Pretty damn close to that.
Had to be close.
Yes, but this was home games in general, John. The Packers had 25 straight
Oh,
wins at Lambeau.
this wasn't against the Vikings. This
No.
was against everybody.
Correct.
Oh, that's gangster.
It
That's
was.
gangster. That is some home field advantage.
I was so mad when they won. The Vikings won, obviously, because we lost. But I was mad that streak got broken. I wanted to believe
Yeah,
that
no
nobody
doubt.
would ever beat us ever in this magical place called Lambeau Field. 5 out of 10. We'll have to start searching
God.
through.
That's not good enough. That is not good enough, fellas. I apologize.
How
Not
many
good
did you
enough
get?
on
I
Border
thought you
Battle
got
Week.
6. You got 5? What do you get, Orman? 5 or 6?
Wait a minute. Sorry, let's get this right. You got Fran Tarkenton. You got
Joe Webb.
You got Joe Webb. You got True 3. You didn't get Rubley. You got Chenko 4. Barr 5.
And I got the first one, didn't I?
You got Dishman and 25 wrong. That's 5. You had
Oh,
the first one
did.
right. I
You only
counted it.
got
Oh,
5.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you
Man,
had 6.
that's not good enough.
I got
That's
5.
not good enough. All right. Hopefully we can get better by Sunday because we have to. Border Battle is coming. Packers, Vikings. We'll get a winner on the other side. He's John Kuhn. I'm Billy Schmid. Armin Sarian. Fantastic questions here today for
Yeah.
Border Battle Week, Packers
Yeah,
and Vikings.
Armin, you came through at the end. It was
They
a
did.
rough
Oh,
start,
great.
but you battled
Great.
down the stretch.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you
You
guys
built
are all
me up
happy.
just to tear me down with Chris Dishman on the
I
game.
mean, you literally asked the
Come
question, who leads the all-time series?
That's your easy. That's your pin location. That's all right.
That's why you were getting judged early on.
I don't care. Judge me.
Judge
I
him.
don't care. He doesn't
Judge
care.
him. He doesn't care. John, I don't even care. I got my A's hat on today.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
celebrating. He's having a great time.
Got his ass hat on.
Hanging out with all of you. Stay light on the game. 9 to noon. We're back on the game. Appreciate you hanging out with all of us statewide on the game. We're going to fill you in on what the Milwaukee Brewers weekend might look like and a lot of scoreboard watching as to why coming up, as well as maybe give you the manliest story in the NFL. But first, we got to pick a winner after a very, very disappointing John Armin 5 by me here in You Better You Bet. In What Does Billy Know? We got You Better You Bet coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. But John, Armin's got the ass hat off. He's ready to go, and he's ready to pick a winner here out of all the 5s that we had picked here on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line.
All right, pick one out of it. And we've got Doug and Darboy, wherever that is. Don't know, but Doug.
Doug
is our winner.
Darboy?
Yeah, that's what it's got in his text here.
Doug. Is this a KB change the name of something?
No, I don't think so. Darboy, where's that? Well,
it's a neighborhood in Harrison, Wisconsin.
Congratulations, Doug. You won.
Looks like it's just... Oh, if this is it looks like this is near Appleton, and Doug from Darboy might be trying to go to the football feast tonight on Calumet Street in Appleton.
Oh, yes, out of Gainey County. Yes, I'm sure you know about that, John. It's right in your area, Fox Cities. Sort of, not really, I guess.
Not really right in this city, but yeah, close enough. I do like how if anything's like within 45 minutes to an hour, it's like, that's right over by you guys, right? That's right over where
you're
at.
It's by the Quick Trip. You know?
That's how we roll in this state. I mean,
that is true. Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah, it's within a few miles.
Need your info, Doug.
When you hit any city, like where were we just at? Like Nashville.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I looked up Fat Jimmy's or Big Jimmy's or whatever. It was a mile and a half away. All right, I could walk there because it's only a mile and a half, but it is 92 degrees and humid out. Let's see how long it takes a car to get there. 25 minutes. Damn, it's going to be shorter to walk there. I think I'm still going to ride because it was 92 degrees. That's the way it works.
Some AC. Yeah, no doubt about it. That's
Wisconsin,
easy math.
You need to be 20 miles away. 20 miles away before you say, that's still kind of in my neighborhood.
That's still right around here. Yeah, that's close enough. That works. All right. In the midst of what we've been seeing throughout the day, this baseball thing is going to get very, very strange over the weekend, guys. So last night, in preparation for the New York Mets and Atlanta Braves, they were going to play 2 more games to finish out their season series and finish out their series. However, the tropical storm that is hitting the southern portion of the country postpones both of those games. Now, if you look at it from just the wild card spot, and the Milwaukee Brewers will be playing the last wild card team in right now, they could be playing Atlanta, who's a game back of the final spot. They could be playing Arizona or New York because those two are tied for the final wild card spot right now. John, it's going to get crazy. New York's going to be up here for 3 games, then potentially have to fly down on Monday for a doubleheader against a team to see if they get in, then potentially fly back up here. I want all the chaos. And as a Brewer fan, this is amazing. All these teams are going to blow all their pitching right before the wild card round. There's no way they lose now, right?
It's a wild situation, and Major League Baseball has dropped the ball on this so immensely. We have projections of storms, especially major hurricanes or tropical storms as they come in. We've seen NFL games get moved, and Atlanta didn't want to do this because of the gate. They didn't want to.
Yeah, they didn't want to move
this game because of the gate. Well, listen here. It's one of 81 home games. You get 81 of them.
Good point.
In the NFL, New Orleans got 8, and they sent them to Jacksonville to play a football game. I mean, what were they thinking? I think Major League Baseball dropped the ball big time on this. You could play them on the exact same days you were supposed to play them. Just move the game to a neutral site. Move it to Cleveland, for goodness sakes. Or if Cleveland has a game, move it to Detroit, or move it to a place that you could have played this game. This could have easily have gotten him. And now, the punishment for these 2 teams are either, and this is what's funny, Billy, because you talk about it, they could have to play these 2 games and make them up on a Monday doubleheader.
It's amazing.
And then play the wild card round, start the wild card round on Tuesday. Or somebody could end up getting rest because these games might not matter.
Yeah.
There might be a mathematical situation where these games don't matter. And now all of a sudden, 2 teams are fixing their bullpen and not having to play 162 games. It's just, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb that baseball did this.
There's also a possibility in which one team clinches a spot in game 1, and they could either put the foot off the gas pedal because we're already in, we're going to go figure out where we're going to play. Or, John, they could know that they are in after game 1 and be able to bounce the other team in game 2, making the second one a de facto playoff game. And or they could both realistically be like, after game one, now neither team is in if we don't win. Like, so it's a beautiful situation, wildness that's going through.
There's like 7 different variables that could go on, but none of them are ideal. None of them are as ideal
Totally.
as Sunday being the last day of the season for everybody.
Especially that's why Major League Baseball got rid of the 163 possibility, was because we want Sunday to be the last day of baseball. Well, Mother Nature says, hold my beer, Rob Manfred. And they find a way to really mess up Major League Baseball just before the playoffs. I can't wait for Tuesday. Whichever team comes in trying to get these hands at American Family Field, good luck. Come get them. And make sure that you bring your hard hat, because this Brewers offense is bringing it here today. Cannot wait to be able to go into hour number 3. Our best portion of the day, our best hour of the day always comes up when we hit the investment hour of 9 to noon. Let's get caller number 5 for You Better You Bet. Caller 5 going to be our contestant here today as they make picks in week 4 of the NFL season. Kuhn, Billy, and Armin statewide, 9 to noon on the Game. 9 to noon, hour 3. This is where it all goes down. This is where we hit our stride. It's the best hour of the day with John Kuhn, Billy Schmidt, Armin Sari, and Statewide on the game. It is 9 to noon. And as we were discussing on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line, it's one of my favorite things. It never closes. And then you get to find out that there are some people in this world who see life very differently. Right, John? I think that's one of my favorite parts of doing this show is being able to hear and know how different fans fan. Like Brad in the 414 says, you guys are drunk. No, I wish. It would be fun to be able to do this show drunk. I don't know that we'd be able to. I don't know how long they would let us do it. I don't know that they would let us really do a McAfee situation, John, where we were just housing Guinness all day long.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. If
I'd have fun with it
on that show, well, we do get one day a year. We get Nooner Day. So
that's true.
We'll just wait until next year.
I was gonna say we've never been drunk today. Nooner Day's closer to it's more on the precipice.
I was drunk during the game.
During the show though. You know what I mean? It's a little bit.
Yeah, not with a capital D, but I was starting to feel a little
I was close.
There were enough of the Jello shots that were coming through where I was starting to feel a little bit.
So Nooner Day 1, I was close, and then the headset got taken from me, if you remember, in that last hour. John.
I've only heard the rumors of it. Only heard how you started out the bachelor party. But listen, we are not drunk, but he says none of this matters. Brewers will find a way to throw the season away no matter how many cards are stacked in their favor. How many times do you need to see the same movie before you know how it'll end? Damn, Brad, I wish I would have had the sports almanac and I'd be able to know that I probably shouldn't watch any sports because my team ultimately is not going to win the championship.
Well, did Brad feel that way in 01 when the Bucks broke through and won a championship?
2021.
Did he feel that? Yeah, 21, sorry. Did Brad feel that way in 96? You know, when the Packers won the Super Bowl after 4 years, in fourth year in the playoffs in that stretch, toiling away and 29 years of waiting. I mean,
knew for sure they weren't going to win in 2010.
Did he just give up hope every time? No. What Brad is doing, Brad is probably just as hopeful as anybody else deep down, but he's trying to emotionally hedge himself by saying, you just know we're going to lose. He's trying to let himself down easy so he doesn't get his hopes too high.
And you're the king of the emotional hedge. I'm glad that you see what this is.
Yeah, but he shouldn't do it with his own feelings and emotions. You have to be able to live the ups and downs truly and honestly, right? Because it's going to be no fun for you to keep watching sports thinking you're always going to lose all the time. Don't give up your hope. Don't stop dreaming, man. The emotional hedge is more of a monetary investment deal.
Okay.
But don't stop dreaming, Brad. That's the fun of being
Let's
a fan.
have some fun. Come on.
As much as it stinks to have the lows when they lose, when your team loses, that's that special glow you feel when the team finally wins. So you can't take yourself away from living all aspects of it. That's what life's all. That's what being sports fans all about. Is the right to dream.
Damn
so
right.
Don't take that away from yourself just because you're worried of the pain.
Go and enjoy and have some fun.
It's like relationships, man.
I don't want to get my heart broken is the last thing I like hearing from sports fans.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
That's why you watch sports.
If we all had that fear of getting our heart broken, none of us would ever, be in a relationship. We'd all die alone. I don't think we want to do that, right?
Okay. That was pretty philosophical right there, John.
Don't you put yourself?
Damn, we're talking.
You put yourself out there. You put your heart first on the line.
That's what I'm talking about, Armin.
Come on. I'm not gonna. There are some moments, and I love when Armin does this. The emotional hedge, the fan gatekeeping, and all this.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite parts.
When I zoom away, and right now I'm looking at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook prop bets here for tonight.
Smart.
And I'm diving into a defensive prop bet, and I've noticed that Micah Parsons is not on one single defensive prop bet. So I wanted to look and see if maybe he's injured, and I didn't know, but no, he's not injured. I don't see anything to his name about being injured, but he's not on any prop bets here. So you know what that means. Micah Parsons on the scene, explosion night tonight.
Justin's playing it safe.
That doesn't make me feel very good for already putting my clown paint on.
That was a great tweet.
And getting ready to take the Giants +6 here tonight.
Yeah.
I'm already getting excited to look like an absolute clown tonight when the Giants get pants by 20. But we have a lot of time to get there. We got a lot of time before we get to that Coons can't miss.
So what did I hear out of Armin? I'm sorry.
Bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Just don't stop dreaming. Don't stop being a dreamer.
Don't stop the dream.
And I love it, Armin. I love it. Fan them up. Teach them how to fan them up. Let's get excited. Know yours. All that other catchphrase stuff. Let's go.
Okay. Let's go. And also, best news is Junior Bridgman was the announcement for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Great news.
It's all great news. It's Junior Bridgman. There's no fear. It's not Jimmy Haslam time taking over in full. We're celebrating Junior Bridgman. There we go, Milwaukee Bucks.
So
Let's go. Let's have a training camp and get ready to win in a month.
So he's going to be a partial owner. Is
Yes.
that the idea? Okay.
A decent sized minority stakeholder in the Milwaukee Bucks announced earlier today. Junior Bridgman, who has his number retired by the Milwaukee Bucks, a significant minority owner. As I ran through all the details, they did not give a percentage. Significant minority owner.
That's okay. So we're starting to move down the line of calling significant minority, no longer minority, but significant minority. Okay, so we are making levels to this stuff. What do you think significant minority is?
I'm thinking 10 to 15%.
Something around that. I'm more than 5 for sure.
Okay, so double digit.
I would think double digits.
Because Aaron's.
What about you? Well, you think it would be somewhere in the like 7 to 10 or
Yeah,
a little
probably. I'm just significant minority. I just why not just come out and say the number?
Yeah, he became a 12% stakeholder in the
Yes,
Milwaukee
12%.
Bucks.
He's a significant minority. Okay, we get it.
Well, maybe
Okay,
it's not
somebody
that
else
simple.
owns more.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah,
So he's not the majority owner, but he's a significant minority owner. Okay, we get it. We'd understand that if you just told us the number.
I think they.
It's like I saw yesterday at the top of a category, it said, so it abbreviated team abbreviation. It was TMABB. Like it had no vowels. It was like team ABBTN for team abbreviation. If you just
That's
wrote
awesome.
the word team down, you use less letters.
No, that part's true. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just think maybe it's not that simple to the exact percentages. Maybe the deal is a little more complicated than that, but it would be nice to know the exact percentage, John. But if you ever want to read an amazing story about ingenuity, about business
oh my God,
acumen,
amazing.
about making something of what you can, all those things, Junior Bridgman is one of the most amazing things. Research it. You can read about it. He's one of the most impressive business owners, of former athletes turned business owners you'll ever see. And I remember when I was a kid, going to that Wendy's in the drive-thru, my dad goes, "This is Junior Bridgman's Wendy's." I'm like, "Really? He's back there?" Like in my head, I thought that.
Yeah. Oh,
But
number 2 is back there flipping around.
It's just pretty awesome.
Owner
story.
and CEO of Bridgman Foods, which operated more than 450 Wendy's and Chili's restaurants in over 20 states until 2016. I mean, massive work for Junior Bridgman. So we're excited that he is now a significant minority stake owner with the Milwaukee Bucks. And it's all positive. It's all up. It's all up from here, up and to the right as the Bucks comeback season starts in less than a month.
Let's go.
Now let's get back to football, where people have been waiting anxiously to find our guy Tony in Oak Creek ready to invest.
You better.
You better.
You better.
You better. You bet.
You better bet that Tony in Oak Creek is going to be a part of You Better You Bet. Thanks to Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse for over 15 years. The best cuts of steak possible in Milwaukee. Domestic, international slices of Wagyu cut steak. Amazing accoutrements that you can throw in there. And also a wine cellar that you got to experience to believe. Classic steakhouse meets modern experience at Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse. And our favorite, thanks to Omar and the gang. All right, Tony in Oak Creek, trying to get some of that bone marrow and maybe an Australian Wagyu cut of steak at Carnivore. But first, he's got to beat the guys to eat with the guys and got to roll through the playoffs. Tony, welcome back. What's your first pick, man?
The first pick is going to be the Saints
Taking
Atlanta.
Taking the New Orleans Saints over Atlanta. They get 2.5, John, in a very, very fun rivalry and a game that gets a lot more interesting now with both teams coming in off an L last week.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a great rivalry. As you mentioned it, the Saints had a hiccup against the Eagles, played a tough physical game there, allowed that thing to swing in the Eagles' favor at the very end of it. And, you know, now that the Saints have been clipped by the Eagles, can the Falcons, who have been playing good football the last 2 weeks, albeit 1-1 over that time, can they now get over the hump against another good team in their division? This one's big for the NFC South right now, early on in this season. It's a big game for Tampa to be watching. It's a big game for both of these teams because a lot of people had Falcons right there in the playoffs.
Yep.
Right there in the playoffs because Kirk Cousins is down there. If the Saints can take care of business in this one, if they can get back to scoring 45.5 points per game like they did their first 2 games and not have a stinker like they did this last game against the Eagles, this could start getting a little bit out of hand for Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, and Saints are dinged up. Demario Davis did not participate Wednesday in practice. He's currently listed as questionable. They lost their starting center, Eric McCoy, in that game. He goes on IR. Cesar Ruiz, their starting guard, dinged up. The biggest one, Alvin Kamara, did not practice yesterday with a rib and a hip pointer. Alvin Kamara, some people are saying trending towards not playing. Fantasy owners are holding their breath. If he doesn't play, there's a lot of people that are saying, I'm going to hold a fat L coming up in week 4. Now, luckily, Tony Creek's got a couple of points there, 2.5 with the New Orleans Saints. Let's see where he goes with his second pick. Tony, where are we headed?
All right, let's go with the Texans.
Taking the Texans on the comeback at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars, laying 6. Jags need to play well. To John, I'll be honest with you. I think save everyone's job in that building. They're going to start trending towards firing and cleaning house and trying to maybe bring in Bill Belichick.
Getting rid of everybody.
Everybody.
Peterson, gone. Trevor Lawrence. Hey, you got the highest paid contract when you got it, but your stats are no better than Daniel Jones. You too may be gone. How about the
GM's going to have to go too.
How about the highest paid? There's going to be some sort of referendum that comes down the pike here, because the quarterbacks that all signed in the last 2 off seasons have a combined 2 wins so far this year.
It's going to be a reckoning, John?
2 wins. There is going to be a reckoning, because what's happening is it used to be teams that had that quarterback, that dude, they would compete because they had that dude, and other teams would compete with them because they would stack teams around other quarterbacks. But now when every quarterback hits their second contract before winning a Super Bowl or before winning or being an MVP, and Jordan Love's kind of in this category, right? I got to throw him in there.
Sure.
When you got the looks of, Tua Tagovailoa, a Trevor Lawrence, a Joe Burrow, a Jordan Love, and they're all topping each other right off at the top of that thing. You can't put around. You don't build the teams the way that you used to be able to build the teams to compete against a Patrick Mahomes and vice versa, Tom Brady and things of that nature. So I do think there is some sort of reckoning coming when it comes to the quarterback salary.
You got to think there's a regression towards the mean at some point. And CJ Stroud and company makes sense why people are so high on him, because you can start paying guys on the outside, auxiliary pieces around your star quarterback. Texans lay 6 coming off that whooping they took last week in Minneapolis against the Vikings 34-7. All right, Tony, third pick, go.
Third pick, the Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers. He wants them to go to 4-0 with Justin Fields as the starting quarterback. However, Mike Tomlin said, I ain't naming QB1. So quit asking. Justin's going to play. So Justin is going to play. They are laying 1.5 at the Indianapolis Colts coming up, John Kuhn.
And to some extent, I follow what Tomlin's doing.
Love it.
I'm not going to let any of you dictate the way I approach anything.
I'm like
the way I label anybody. How we get Justin Fields ready for a game. Maybe Justin Fields is just a little stitious. Maybe naming him the starter would upset the teapot a little bit. And I'm not doing that. I'm just going to say, I don't need to name a starter, because this guy, Russell Wilson, he hasn't practiced in 2 months with the calf.
Yeah.
So I don't need to. So quit. I mean, this is comical. It's hilarious. And we know Justin Fields, nobody's starting at quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers while they continue to win football games.
Yeah, they're not making a move if they're winning games and winning by 2 scores against an undefeated squad. So I love that pick, and that loud house in Indianapolis is going to be very, very interesting to watch coming up this weekend. Steelers lay 1.5. That's Tony's third pick. His next winner is what, Tony?
The Bears.
All right. He's taking the Chicago Bears. Yeah, it is what it is. But they are laying 3 points against Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. We got to make the cross-country flight, John. Rams get back-to-back NFC North opponents as the Packers will head out to SoFi coming up next week.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this one. The Rams found a way to get a victory against the 49ers. Granted, the 49ers were banged up, but the Rams are banged up too. And they found a way to get a victory against them. Don't discount Sean McVay for getting down there, even mid-game, because they were down multiple times by 14 points in that ball game. Don't dismiss him from getting down on his hands and knees, drawing up some plays in the dirt so that Matthew Stafford can go out there and gut them to another victory in this. By the way, they got the best running back in this game, Kyron Williams.
Yep, and hand raised in air. I think the wrong team's favored. Fascinating to see how this one ends up playing out coming up on Sunday. Tony, last pick. Is this your lock, and what is it?
This is my lock.
Yes.
Now, I think it's going to be a close game. I think the team that I want to win will cover, but I'm going with the Vikings
This guy.
on this one.
Tony, you set it up so nicely. You were laying it in. Now you do want the 2.5 points as he locks in the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, listen to all the people cheering for his picks.
That silence is US Bank Stadium. Minus 105 is the price to get the 2.5 points. Do you think the line stays right here, John, with the Vikings and Packers at 2.5 in favor of the home team?
Yeah, I think Vegas is suspecting Jordan Love, and if it moves in any direction, I believe it might actually move down a couple points. It might actually go down to 2 or 1.5 because, you know, when it gets announced that it is Jordan Love, I think people jump on it at the last minute. I think game day this could be different than 2.5, but I think I think Vegas is assuming Jordan Love is starting in this game. Yeah,
it kind of feels that way. All right, Tony, we're gonna forgive you for locking in the Minnesota Vikings. More importantly, we're just going to try to beat you. Like I got to be honest with you, Tony. We're going to try to beat you, and that's what you got to do here. And you bet. You got to beat the guys to eat with the guys.
Yeah, no, I've been to Carnivore a couple weeks ago. It's phenomenal.
There you go.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I did ask if I could use John Kuhn's steak knife, and they said who? So I don't know what.
Wow, he's talking noise on here. All right, Tony.
Hey, I just hung up on Tony. What are we doing?
Tony's funny.
What are we doing?
Armin doesn't understand that I'm more bothered by Armin hyping up the noise than the actual noise itself.
Oh, I don't know.
Armin taking it to the next level. Wow. What are we doing here? Tony didn't ask the right server. That's all it is.
Yeah, let's be honest.
We haven't been down. I haven't been to Carnivore in a long time.
Oh, well, maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe
I need to get down there.
Time for a dinner.
We might have to go have a show dinner. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe next week for a playoff, little appetizer before the game. I don't know.
About an appetizer,
okay.
Yeah, get that chopped salad.
A little marrow.
Get that marrow. Obviously,
I would not have thought you were saying salad.
Well, that starts everything. I'm not saying that's all I'm getting. You get the bone marrow. Now the seafood tower is not your thing.
No, but I am impressed to watch it.
It's
like it is
deal.
Something that I like to witness people go and house the seafood.
This time
platter.
we're doing there's no doubt. Seafood tower, crab cake, bone marrow. No doubt.
All right.
Probably thick cut bacon too. We're probably doing
thick cut bacon was stupid.
You got to
good.
throw in the bacon. You absolutely have to do it. That's already a pre-order.
And that's why the best thing was when Red Hot Tim Scott said, John, you handle the appetizers, because John's going to knock that thing absolutely out of the park with the appetizers. That's what the trip to Carnivore really is. You want to experience it. You want to feel the energy and the passion and the pageantry that is Carnivore. You got to beat the guys to eat with the guys. Our picks, the ones that you got to beat to eat with us, coming up tomorrow for week number 4. But one absolute lock. Winners at the Potawatomi Sportsbook right now.
Right now, I'm watching a little film breakdown of how to beat the all-up look out of the Minnesota Vikings. I guarantee I got 2 or 3 things in the hopper right now. I should tell Matt LaFleur about a couple of plays that we had down in New Orleans. Same defense. I won't do that, though. I won't bother him while he's at work.
But we're trying to win.
What I will do is I'll let you know if you want to watch this game, if you want to watch how Matt LaFleur breaks down this Minnesota defense, you should do it at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook. Why? Because it's the biggest, the best sportsbook outside of Vegas. And it really is that damn over seating for over 200 on leather couches, leather recliners. What else do you want? Kick your feet up and live the luxurious life while feeling and order yourself a coon dog while you're down there. Bet you can't eat the whole thing. Now, here we go. Yesterday took the Connecticut Suns -6.5 against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Knock him out of the playoffs. She had a great year. Rookie of the year, easily. All kinds of records, all kinds of accolades. Knock her out. She's knocked out, but how does Vegas know? 6-point victory for the Connecticut Suns. So I find myself at 2-1 now on the week. 2-1 now on the week.
Yeah.
Thought it was going to be my 3rd win. Thought it was going to be 8 weeks in a row. We got another chance. Got another attempt at 8 weeks in a row.
Should have bought the half
here
point
tonight.
Yeah. Don't you know you always buy the half point? Not making fun of myself.
Well, I needed
when
a
say
full
that.
point. I needed
Well,
a full
push,
point, Armin.
for a push. Yeah.
Well,
All
I needed
right.
a full point.
So what do you got
Here-
for today, John?
Okay, there's a lot of different prop bets going on in tonight's game, but I'm very disappointed I can't find a Micah Parsons. Somebody hit up Justin Arnett down there at Potawatomi Casino Hotel
He's
Sportsbook
too smart.
and tell me why I can't find you. The Armin texting Justin is like me texting Matt LaFleur. It just ain't happening, so quit asking. They're too busy today. They're too busy, but we'd love it. I'd like to see a Micah Parsons because here's the deal: and this is thing. Did you guys ever know the Dallas Cowboys have never played a Thursday night game on a road with 3 days rest?
I love this. This
What?
is what I'm talking about.
Did you know that?
I didn't know
That's
that.
never happened.
Talking about.
It's never happened.
Yes.
Do you
Keep-
also
keep-
know
keep it
this
coming,
is a
Bill.
Trey
Come
Wingo?
on.
This is a Trey Wingo stat from this morning.
Oh,
Thanks,
boy.
Trey, for
Billy
breaking
needs
this out.
this. Billy needs
Did
this.
you also know that every other team in the league has done it at least 6 times?
That's hard
This
to
is-
believe.
This is the
No,
first
it's
time.
not. Their owner's
This is-
Jerry Jones.
Wow.
This is the first time the Cowboys will be playing a road Thursday night game on 3 days rest.
Flex
So-
on him, John Mara.
So there's a minute. There's a possibility that the Cowboys
on.
have played a road Thursday night game after already playing a Thursday night game, or a road Thursday night game after a bye. So he's not saying they've never played a road Thursday night game. He's saying they've never done it after they played a Sunday game.
Yeah, I think they've played one, John, potentially after, kind of like the Packers will do their Thursday after the Thanksgiving
Yeah.
Thursday deal. This is awesome.
Mhm.
That's a great stat for me. Because I'm suffering right now. 1 in 13 straight up Daniel Joneses in primetime games. That was a disgusting stat for me, knowing that I just took the 6 points.
Billy's looking for everything.
Come on,
that's-
Giants. It's all about the G-Men
What-
tonight.
wait,
Let's
is
go.
that- are you taking it, John? What are we going with here? Is that what you're pointing
No, I'm
towards?
going with the Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys minus 5.5. And I'll tell you why I'm going Cowboys 5.5 minus 5.5. Because if one single, and I know it's the magic number, Armin, I know it's the magic number 5.5 right now. It is the magic number. I wish it was 5. I'd feel a hell of a lot better with it minus 5
You can
than
buy
5.5. But I can, if there is one read option, and they're going to try it because they watched the Cowboys just not know how to play the read option, not one single time
Yep.
against Lamar Jackson. It didn't matter if he faked it to Derrick Henry. It didn't matter if he faked it to Trey Flowers. They could not play the read option last week. Not one time. You know what the Giants are going to do? They're going to say, hey, we got a quarterback. Doesn't throw the ball the greatest.
He's a sneaky
He can
runner.
run.
Yeah.
And so we're going to try and run the read option. If they've run one damn read option for 5 yards, everybody on the Cowboys defensive staff should be fired. Should be fired. That's all I have to say. You don't spend a week getting embarrassed. Make that 2 weeks back to back getting embarrassed like the Dallas Cowboys have on the ground, and then face a team that isn't really running the ball very well, and then they run it on you, and you don't get fired. The Cowboys have everything to prove
Singletary.
on the road on a Thursday night, a
Gosh.
game they've never had to do before in their team's history, and they're gonna make it happen. Come on, Coach Matt. Cowboys minus 5.5.
This game is so interesting because of how convicted that was, and I know how Billy feels about this game.
Come on,
and
Devin.
his pick. I mean, there's so much going on in this game, and it's probably, oh my gosh. Okay, enough of that. All right, that was
Come
great.
on, you don't want more stew?
All right, fine.
Sorry, Justin. Trying to stop on your throat here tonight. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait. I did not think I would say I cannot wait for Cowboys Giants on a Thursday night,
Ooh.
but I'm fired up.
Man,
I cannot wait.
it is
Ooh,
intriguing.
ooh, ooh.
Uh-oh, now
What's
what?
even worse than this is SportsCenter's telling us last night's Sun loss for me was a bad beat. The Fever scored a
was.
meaningless layup
Yeah.
with 2 seconds left to
It
go
was
from
a jump.
8 to
It
6.
was garbage. I know. That's what I'm saying. It was a terrible beat for you. I was following it. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a terrible beat, John. It was. So
Fever were down like 10, and then they closed it. I think they tied it up or maybe took the lead with like a minute or two to go on a Caitlin 3.
Well,
it was a nice game last night.
if you had the Liberty, I think they were playing Atlanta. If you had the over there, it was
How do you not know the bracket?
159.5. If you had 159, Kelsey Plum has one more free throw, misses it. 33 seconds to go, 7-point game. They call off the dogs. No, you keep fouling. This is the playoffs. Don't call off the
Yeah, you're
dogs.
facing elimination.
That
What are
was-
we doing,
That
Coach?
was ridiculous too.
It's a
The
good
W
good
does
question.
things a little differently now. They do things a little different.
And
That's for sure. That's for sure. And I, for one, am doing something a little bit different. I'm done watching now. Even though this Aces Liberty series, I'm being told
this is going to
be a knockout, drag out fight.
It's going to be a great series. You know, you have stars.
Wait,
you have Brianna
stop.
Ionescu,
Wait,
Asia Wilson.
Is Caitlin Clark playing?
No, but
she's
is Angel Reese playing?
Well, no, but there's.
I ain't watching.
Oh, if only
so quit asking.
I'm sorry, I ain't watching.
I thought you got. Wait, you got.
Hey, they brought the eyes to the
Kelsey
game,
Plum.
and the game didn't want the eyes. So you know what? You won't get my eyes. If
Yeah.
those two aren't. I
It's
want to
not
see Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark in the championship game. Give me that.
I know. I'm just saying, Asia Wilson's like the LeBron of that league.
Or
right
give me
now.
a consolation bracket, because if they did a consolation bracket of teams that aren't in the playoffs anymore, and those two matched up, it would get 4 times the audience than the rest of the games get.
So you're saying Asia Wilson greater than Brianna Stewart?
You're going to
Asia Wilson Wilson is something special.
She is, and listen, Ionescu's just.
But you want to see
Oh
it. You want to. You're here for the drama.
Yeah,
right.
That's what
I get it. I'm just saying,
John, I ain't watching Love Island to see the connections. I'm here to watch the drama.
I tell that to Laura all the time about Bachelor. I'm like, the last 3 episodes are the most boring ones. We want to see fights. We want to see conflict. And
I
drama.
can't watch it after the first
So you
night.
don't want reality television, Armin? Because reality television, there's still some good people in reality now. There's still some good people. It doesn't all have to be.
I'm not saying you're no. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's not what brings the eyes.
Yeah, I think it does.
Ionescu had 36 points there tonight. Just
hey, there you go.
There's some
There you go,
stuff.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
414-799-1973. Are they?
For the record now,
You should get
Armin
some.
likes train wrecks and telling us how to fan, but he's wearing an A's hat. What do you think?
Yeah, amen. That's still a question that's got to get brought up and still got to be discussed here. Why on earth could Armin wear an A's hat and still tell all of you that you fan poorly? We'll discuss it. It's 9 to noon. Stay wide on the game. All right, one of the craziest and most manly things I'm going to read in the NFL. John Coons right there. I'm Billy Schmidt. Armin Sarian with us as well. John, you've probably seen a lot of feats in the NFL. I don't know that you've maybe seen one like this. Broncos linebacker Alex Singleton announced that he tore his ACL in his right knee last week. Will miss the rest of the season. What you found out later is Singleton tore his ACL during the first quarter against the Tampa Bay Bucks on Sunday in Tampa Bay, then proceeded to play every defensive snap of the game. He went on to play 56 snaps, lead Denver in tackles with 10 in a 3-score victory on a torn ACL as he's now out for the season. That is wild.
That's hard to believe.
Finish what you started.
Oh
right?
my God.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go, Alex Singleton.
Everybody's dad in this world is saying, be an Alex Singleton. Finish what you started. You went out there, started this game. Now, I know this. This means that he never slowed down to make a tackle. Because the thing about the ACL, I vividly remember watching the tight end for the Giants back against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I think it was 2011 Super Bowl, tear his ACL, and then went out there and proceeded to try and run because it wasn't painful. It didn't hurt that bad. A lot of ACLs don't hurt terribly bad. Didn't hurt that bad. But yet every time he tried to run and slow down on the sideline, he would fall down because I hate to laugh. It's a horrible thing. Don't laugh at somebody's injury. I'm not laughing at the injury. I'm laughing at the fact that every time he tries to stop, he was falling down. And Alex Singleton can go out there and just ball. Now, I do remember this as well, Armin. Hines Ward, a teammate of mine in Pittsburgh, I remember had really bad knee problems in 2005 or 2006, just like would never practice during the week, always just icing his knees down constantly, be in meetings, but then when we'd be practicing, he'd just be icing his knees. And I finally said, what's going on with Hines? Well, he doesn't have an ACL. What do you mean? He did not have an ACL. You don't need an ACL per se.
Yeah, but that's if you grow up not using it, then your body becomes used to,
like DeJuan Blair was born without him, the old Pitt power forward.
And Hines was from a childhood accident, I think. It's just hard to believe that you could play without an ACL. Now, in that sense, if you grow up and your body adjusts without it, but this guy tore it and played on it, how could he do that? It's so hard for me to believe that. It's an amazing feat of humanity, I guess.
Have I not told you?
This is an NFL.
Have I not taught you anything about pain management and guys just going out there and finishing?
But there are some things I just think you can't do it on. I mean, maybe yes, pain management and all that stuff.
Ronnie Lott cut his damn finger off.
Okay, but at least
went and played.
But but I get that because you can still move obviously and perform certain things without a finger, even though it's going to hurt.
I'm not even talking it off.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about.
So
how can you
give me a scissors or a knife, whichever one's easier.
I don't know. It's just hard.
My
to
roommate in
believe.
college, my sophomore year, Zach Tamblin, he played John one. I mean, I shouldn't say a full game. I think he ended up blowing it even worse in the middle of the fourth quarter of one game.
We just played through.
He had tore it 2 weeks before. They're like, dude, you're gonna be done. He goes, let me just see. Give me a couple of weeks and let me see if I can try it. Wow. And he did, and he played, like I said, into the second half, and then all of a sudden, and then it was done. But it was like while he was doing it in the midst of the game, like, what on earth are you doing? How on earth are you doing this? This is fantastic.
I saw the same thing in high school, Billy. We had an offensive lineman who missed about 2 games and then came back, tore ACL, Armin, tore ACL, came back, played in another game or two, and then just decided I should probably get it fixed now. Forget waiting till the end of the season. Yes. And he did get it fixed. But he did come back, and he did play about 2 games before he decided it's not good enough. So he went and got it done. So, yes, you can. This is my thing.
Wow.
I love stories like this, not because I want to see players get hurt, not because I want to see players play through injuries per se, but because it proves that we sometimes lose sight of what the body is physically able to accomplish. And I mean specifically with pitchers going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Armin Sarian, I want to see a damn complete game.
I'm okay with like wanting to see it. I know why they don't now, but this is, I mean, an incredible testament to it. I mean, I was wondering, is it like a partial tear? Then he tore it more during the game. I mean, it's pretty amazing. He played the whole game on that. I would have to imagine there was a lot of pain and swelling involved. Although I don't know. People do say different things about ACLs, right? that you can sometimes feel
They're
it.
not one of
not
these
feel it.
injuries. Not one of these injuries are created equal. It's why
Good
we
point.
have. It's why we have a boatload of evidence of guys who have come back from a grade 1
Mhm.
MCL sprain after 0 games
Zero
missed.
games missed.
And
Yeah.
Jordan Love missed 2.
Yeah.
We don't know if Jordan Love's grade 1 MCL sprain is really like a 1.5, but it's listed as a 1. We don't know were some of these guys that had the grade 1 MCL sprain, were they really true grade 1s, or were they just a half themselves? None of these things are the same. And when Jordan Love had that little pop, remember that little pop
in that video?
Was there anything else? Was there anything else that went on along with that? Was there some swelling? Was there a contusion somewhere in there?
Meniscus, cartilage,
Those things
patella.
mean something.
Yeah, all these.
Well, I think the meniscus, I think the patella.
Yeah.
Based off of him running around now, look like they're good, in great shape.
Yeah,
Wow,
John,
that's
you are not lying. Here on NFL Pro to be able to watch a couple of the Alex Singleton plays. My man was straight line 100 miles an hour.
That's the thing. That's the thing people don't understand. If you do want to play with an ACL, that's great. You're not going to turn and you're not going to stop. Wherever you see ball to hit ball, you better go to that spot and get ball, because if you don't, you're flying way past it.
Maybe the most impressive thing I've seen. It's the second quarter. It's a 1st and goal from the 1, and my man comes from the inside, plugs the gap. John, he was not moving anything, just straight line dive, stuffed him at the goal line. Let's go. Alex Singleton can play on this team any day of the week. That is awesome. Awesome to be able to see. All right, 414-799-1973. That's where we're going to try to find a quick trip takeaway of the day. Going to be tough. We've had a banger of a show here on a thirsty Thursday. We'll wrap it up. Round 3rd, head for home next. Coon, Billy, and Armin, stay wide on the game. 9 to noon on the game, round third, head for home. Have a whole lot of fun with all of you on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line here today, as well as on YouTube and X. And on X, some news going down right now in the world of the NBA in the news breaking category. It was Adrian Wojnarowski hanging up the cell phone a couple of days ago, saying he's done being an insider, John. Well, ESPN just said that their other insider gone as well. They've now laid off Zach Lowe, who The Athletic has learned had himself a very, 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 very nice salary. He now becomes a part of the layoffs that they've had this fiscal year of RG3, Sam Ponder, Zach Lowe's salary, which is in excess of 7 figures annually, was the biggest factor for ESPN's decision. He's been with the network for 12 years. Yeah. First as a long form writer on Grantland, which was also a part of Bill Simmons writing there. And he's been doing the Low Post podcast for a long time as one of their main guys covering the NBA, does their studio stuff. And John, I got to think, as many people are speculating, Zach Lowe is a casualty here as they are grabbing themselves a big old bag to throw at apparently Shams Charania, who's going to be the new guy on ESPN.
That's what I wanted to know. Is that the way they were going? Is Zach Lowe, is he Aaron Jones? Is he Aaron Jones? Did they even ask him to take a pay cut? Did they even ask him?
It's a great question.
Or are they just getting up for the younger, less injury prone, healthier, more durable guy? And Shams Charania, could that be the case?
Yeah, maybe.
And then does Zach Lowe, heel turn, go to the Athletic, replace him, and then laugh when he has a homecoming and start stealing beats from Shams Charania.
And then when he comes back, then you can't wear a Zach Lowe jersey anymore, and we get in that debate. So I understand how that works. No, in all seriousness, I love Zach Lowe's stuff. I know that a lot of the NBA nerds loved him on the podcast, and his original Grantland stuff was awesome. When him and Bill Simmons were writing those long form pieces, like 11, 12, 13, those years, I remember reading all that stuff. I like Bill Simmons stuff when he would write for Grantland.
Now you're just not a big fan of Bill Simmons.
I'm not okay. So you think just because I don't listen to his podcast and religiously I don't love Bill Simmons?
It just sounded like you were building up to say I used to like Bill Simmons, but now I just can't stand him.
Bill Simmons.
That's your take of the day. It's brought to you by Quick Trip. You need something for breakfast, lunch, or dinner at any point in time. Don't cook while you don't have to. Right. You can stop by Quick Trip and pick up a freshly prepared, absolutely delicious take-home meal. They're always fresh, never frozen. You might even find.
I'm just saying, Bill Simmons.
That's what it sounded like. I can hear it. I can feel it.
Podcast, and he says wild stuff about the Bucks every now and then. I'm not saying I don't dislike Bill Simmons, but it wasn't when he was a great writer, and he would write the Book of Basketball is awesome. Every time my team loses a heartbreaker in a big playoff game, I reread Consequences of Caring. That was a great long article there. But what do you want me to do? I'm Bill Simmons isn't my daddy or whatever. He's not my brother. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey, he's the greatest ever. He says weird stuff about the Bucks, and I'm cape up for my teams. As you can clearly see by me wearing an A's hat today.
Yeah, as you're wearing an A's hat, his baseball diamond Dave on the talking text goes, Armin, what's up with the A's hat?
A's hat is because I'm paying tribute to the fans of Oakland, the long-suffering fans of Oakland, who were going to lose their team, and now we're going to see their last home game. And I thought it was a clean look 15 years ago when I bought the hat, and I bought it. And
John, what do you think of our guy wearing the A's not ass hat here today on the final day at Oakland Alameda Coliseum?
It's just fitting. It's
literally
It's that ironic Armin Sarian. Do as I say, not as I do.
Wow.
That's well said. Yes.
Really?
And here's the deal.
The A's are not a rival of ours. This is not like
that's fine. Listen,
you're the White Sox, the Twins, or anybody. Cardinals.
You're paying homage to a fan base that is losing a team, but that fan base hasn't showed up to games in a long, long time.
This is the only game they're going to show up to.
True point. Now that's fair. That's true, and they have some culpability in that. But I do know, there's a great legacy of baseball in Oakland, and it's sad, frankly, that it's leaving. And I don't know. I just thought I'd wear it today, just for the.
Bob Nightingale is at the Coliseum, and he's got some pictures that he's posted throughout of the tailgates. He said fans started lining up at the gates at 7 a.m. He was there last night when security was chasing around the guy, the two dudes that were running out with the stadium seats that they had ripped out of the ground. It is going to be a madhouse there today. And I, for one, will watch the train wreck. Like I will hopefully see, and I am, John, I got my fingers crossed, getting to see some carnage going on. I want everyone to be safe, but I do want them to rip that place down to the bones. That would be a lot of fun to be able to witness.
They're gonna shred that thing like some piranhas on a dead carcass.
Or
maybe
like we're about to just shred that pulled pork right off a pork shoulder, pull that bone out and just rip that stuff apart.
Oh, okay.
Shred it up.
Oh, I thought
but you're not in the smoking meat gang, so you wouldn't get what we're talking about. It's fine.
She thought you were gonna do it like a BW3's promotion for the feast tonight with the wings and all that. And
that would have probably made more sense.
Yeah,
that'd have probably made more sense. Like at Calumet Street here tonight, football feast starts up at 3, but you really want to get there for the main event. It starts at 5. That's when I get there. And then at 6:30, we give away tickets to Packers and Vikings. What's better than that? Not a whole lot. Come and celebrate it and hang out and talk some Packers football coming up tonight with us at the football feast, 3 to 7, Appleton, Buffalo Wild Wings, Calumet Street will be the place. And we will be back tomorrow getting ready for Packers and Vikings. Game day is just a couple of days away. We'll talk to Matt LePay before he hops on the bird, fly out with the Wisconsin Badgers as they take on the USC Trojans. You'll all be here on the NicolaitLaw.com talking text line. And that guy will be here, John Kuhn. Hopefully Armin Sarian won't have an A's hat on tomorrow. You're showing up tomorrow, right?
I'll wear a Brewers hat or a Packers hat tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Are you really going to question me like this? I mean, like, yes.
I'm a little bit surprised, John. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden he comes in rocking a Miami Heat hat. If he does, we're going to have some problems.
Get out of here.
Nothing but surprises with this guy anymore. It's 9 to noon. We'll try to be better tomorrow. Mike Keller Show's next on the game.